killed in a Huxley house fire, has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa Hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions, now in the mall near Riddle's Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodgers Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Daytime highs approaching 45 this afternoon under cloudy skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 38 tonight. High temperatures reach up to 57 tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Low 40s Sunday and Monday with a chance for scattered showers Sunday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 41.
The opinions and remarks expressed on this radio program by the host, guests, and call-in listeners are the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not reflect the views of management or ownership of KVFD AM 1400.
Have you ever wanted to speak another language? Whether you want to speak Spanish, French, or German, Babbel's 10 to 15-minute lessons can get you speaking confidently in your new language within weeks.
I just started learning Spanish with Babbel, and it's really helping me with my pronunciation.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres? Haha, I got it! I'm amazed how confidently I speak Spanish now. I wish I had tried Babbel sooner.
Babbel's award-winning technology gets you speaking right away. And best of all, you'll remember what you've learned. No wonder Babbel is the #1 selling language learning app in Europe. Try it for yourself and see why Babbel is the quick way to get conversational in a new language, like Spanish, German, Portuguese, and more. You can try Babbel for free. Go to Babbel.com or download the app and try it for free. That's Babbel, Babbel.com, or download the app to try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
For more than 170 years, Rank Seed has been looking out for farmers. We use our knowledge and expertise to help guide you through the ups and downs of life on the farm. Like when you wake up to find your livestock has started a rock band.
Chicken and eggs and country fried steak, and chicken and eggs and country fried steak. Chicken and... Are we too loud?
You've got enough to worry about. Let us take care of your seed. Rank Seed.
First State Bank, first for you.
Switching banks can be overwhelming, but when you switch to First State Bank, their personal bankers will walk you through the entire process and take away all your confusion. Their personal bankers are top-notch in customer service. They're always first for you. The friendly bank in your hometown is First State Bank. Online at fsbwc.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing and Equal Opportunity Lender.
First State Bank, first for you.
Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, where Fort Dodge talk.
I am neither he nor she, Mr. nor Mrs., male nor female. And the only part of me that's transitioning are my heels.
Michael Devine, broadcasting live.
Please meet Katie. Katie says she needs...
Yeah, I didn't want to meet Katie. I wanted to meet Tina Turner here. That's what I really wanted to do. Push the wrong button. My producer, I'll tell you, not doing a very good job today. Of course, I'm my producer. Not Bush City Limit. Tina, AM 1400 KVFD.
A church house, gin house, a schoolhouse, outhouse, on highway number 19. The people keep the city.
All right, I love Tina Turner. I do. AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Yeah, that's every now and then I got to get back to my old late night rock and roll disc jockey days, which have been a long time ago now. Most of the rock stars that I remember and played in the radio are dead. But fortunately, Barb Woolen is here today. How are you, Barb?
I am very well, thank you.
All right. Yeah, we're not here to talk rock and roll or anything else.
No, I wouldn't be a good source.
Oh, come on. You were a rock and roller, weren't you?
No.
Not really?
I was voted class angel, Mike.
You were voted class. Wow.
I know. What a curse. Out of
God.
350 people in my class, and I was class angel.
They had a class angel.
Yeah.
God, did you
But that's not why we're here either.
No, but tell me you broke out in college a little bit. Where'd you go to college?
North Dakota State.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hear they have good football up there now.
They do.
North Dakota.
Yep.
You know who's from North Dakota, don't you?
I know a few people.
That's right. Casey Johnson and Deb Johnson and all those folks are from North Dakota. Where's North Dakota State? Is that in Fargo?
It's in Fargo.
Fargo. So you spent 4 years in Fargo.
And a half.
4.5 years. Did you get a master's degree?
No, I just had a couple minors that weren't related to my major.
Okay. Barb Woolen is with the Iowa State University Extension Service in Outreach, and she is a financial specialist. Can I call you a financial specialist?
Sure.
All right. I mean, it's got to be a step up from class angel.
Definitely. I call myself a financial educator.
Okay. We are talking about finances of caregiving today, which is relevant, very relevant to all our lives in this part of the state because we have an older population base.
That's right. And actually, you don't have to be older to need to think about this, but it really starts hitting home as you age. Most families, most people will be hit with caregiving issues at one time or another. And for a lot of us, it will happen in the next 5 to 10 years. This class on caregiving focuses on the financial side. So it's designed for people who are caregivers or who are expecting they may be caregivers in the near future. But it's also really useful for people who are thinking ahead to when they need care. So it's also useful for care receivers because they can make plans that will make life so much better for their caregivers.
Now, when we talk about caregivers and care receivers, are we really talking family members, people who are related to each other?
Yes, usually.
Okay. That's,
And we think about our parents, but it isn't always our parents or our children. It can be aunts and uncles. It can be other people as well. So we need to think big about this. And most people benefit from some advanced planning.
So we are talking about what sort of care will be given to a older person?
We are not. In this course, we're looking at the financial side of things. And that does include some decision making, and it influences your decision making about what kinds of care you are able to choose. But the real focus here is on having the information you need so that you can make smart decisions when the time comes that you need to make decisions. You can make the decisions that suit you best. So we start with making sure that both the caregiver and the care receiver know what their financial situation is and know where their documents are. So, we start by hopefully the care receiver is planning ahead and has their documents organized, and the caregiver just needs to come look for them. However,
how often does that happen? Really?
You caught my however.
I've known some people in their 80s and 90s, and I'm not quite ready to talk about that.
No. So very often we get to the point where we're in caregiving mode and we still have to go hunting for documents, and we aren't sure if we have we aren't sure what insurance coverage we have, maybe, or we aren't sure if we have the proper substitute decision-making documents in place, all sorts of issues that are really unknown because we didn't plan ahead. So the more we can plan ahead, the better. But if we didn't plan ahead, it's better to start right now in knowing what you need and what documents to try and find or put in place.
Yeah.
So that's a first part of the workshop.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking about a workshop here. That's where we're leading up to. Finances of Caregiving. That's going to be Tuesdays from October 16th to November 13th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Webster County Extension Office, 217 South 25th Street, Fort Dodge. Is that still in the mall?
That's still at the mall. That's right.
Still in the mall.
With the outside entrance.
Absolutely. There is a $35 per person or family fee. You must register by October 15th, which is Monday.
Right. Okay. We do have enough people to run the course at this point, but we'd sure like more people to take advantage of it. And so we really encourage people to sign up. And I want to highlight what you said there. The registration fee is per person or for 2 or 3 members of the same family. And that's intentional because we really want multiple family members to come and get these messages and start these conversations together, because it'll be so much easier for them to work on it
tell
afterwards.
you, these caregiver, care receivers things are difficult conversations. You're talking with a person who's been independent all their lives. Maybe that person has little money, and when we talk about caregivers, care receivers, they're going to ask questions about that. I don't want to have this conversation and I certainly don't want to give up my money or give up control of my money. I don't want any of those things.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But anybody who's been around for 70, 80, 90 years has seen enough that they know that day might come. They may not agree that the day is now, but in general, they are aware that they will do their family a favor by being prepared. Because we have multiple people from a family coming, sometimes it is a caregiver and a care receiver, but very often it's multiple caregivers. So we might have siblings, 2 or 3 siblings who all register together for the class so that they can work together in dealing with a parent's situation. So the multiple family members can be anyone, but ideally it does include the care receiver if they are still up and around and able to be out.
It is so much better if the care receiver is still cogent.
Yes.
Is still with us.
Yes.
Otherwise, and I've seen this happen time and time again, pitch battles between the adult children. And maybe the adult children are acting in what they think is their parents' or relatives' best interests. Sometimes it's greed, sometimes it's all kinds of things, but it's best to have a family conversation.
Right.
And broach the subject and understand. And it's a hard conversation. I know.
Yeah. And sometimes there's one sibling in particular, when we're talking about siblings, there's one sibling who's really tuned in. They're the one who's close. They're the one who the parent relies on. And the others don't know what's going on, or they don't grasp the magnitude of the impact it has on the caregiver. And so they come in well-intentioned, but not really grasping how much more they need to know before they can pitch into decision making.
All right. Barb Woolen's with us. She is a financial specialist with Iowa State University Extension in Outreach, and we're talking about a course called Finances of Caregiving, an important course, I think. I'll see if I can take it myself, but Finances of Caregiving, that's coming up Tuesdays. It'll be Tuesdays from October 16th, November 13th, from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Webster County Extension Office, and that's at 217 South 25th Street, Fort Dodge. That's in the Crossroads Mall. The fee is $35 per person or family, and as Barb explained, that could mean 2, 3 people. Could it mean 5 people, Barb?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you have questions, the number to call is 515-576-2119. That's 576-2119. Topics will include organizing needed information, some of the things we've talked about already. This is really the first one you don't think about, but it's one of the more important ones. Organizing needed information, preparing key legal documents, family communication strategies. That's a good one.
That's a really important one. And we have some good videos of positive and not so positive communication that we show, and that helps motivate people to understand the value of getting ahead of this and being clear about what you need and what you have to offer. We, of course, deal with some of the strategies that relate to how you pay for care. And we touch on a range of strategies, not emphasizing one or not endorsing one or the other, but making people aware of some options. In addition, we spend some time, and this is something that people don't think about always. We spend some time talking about protecting the caregiver's finances.
Right.
Very often the caregiver is unwilling to bring up that subject. But
if it is brought up, that's when the fight starts.
That's right. And we are, we all have seen people who cut back on work because they are taking care of someone, or they have tons of out-of-pocket costs because they're taking care of someone. And that has an impact. And then when people actually quit work, impacting their health insurance, their retirements, their future, their lifelong well-being, that can really devastate somebody's future.
Yeah.
I like to, how it is when you fly in an airplane, and they always say with the oxygen mask, you got to put your own oxygen mask on before you put the one on the child or other person that you're traveling with, because you won't do anybody any good if you are falling to pieces or if you're incapacitated. And that is true when it comes to caregiving too. You need to the caregiver needs to take care of themselves. And we hear that a lot, but that includes they need to protect their financial future, or they will not be effective as caregivers.
Okay. Yeah. And how many times have we seen this? Certainly, I have anyway. Say there's 4 or 5 adult children. 4 of them left the state years ago. And there's one of the adult children back here who has been, as you say, has stayed in the area and
is the point person.
And the care receiver has depended on them for several years. So when you start having these conversations, and there's just a lot of family dynamics that come into play.
And it really helps to have thought in advance about the possibility that, if she quit her job, then maybe we need to pay for her health insurance so that she can continue to take care of mom. But if we all pitch in and pay for her health insurance and maybe make a contribution to her retirement account, that would help make up for the sacrifice that she's making. And maybe it's not that the siblings have to do that. Maybe it's that mom or dad or whoever can make that payment. And if we don't have the big picture and recognize other people's perspectives, it's hard to come to those kinds of agreements. So that's one of the options we approach here is reminding people that, hey, it's not wrong to pay somebody for work they're doing. If they weren't doing it, you'd have to pay someone else, and you'd pay them a lot more.
That's right. You would, absolutely.
And it wouldn't be as good.
It's a complicated time, and in our culture, we have a tendency to avoid it.
Yeah.
We talked about it a lot we didn't talk about it so much this year, but in years past, around election time, we talked healthcare costs. Well, sometimes mom's on a respirator for 3 years. I mean, she's never going to get any better, and the healthcare costs just go through the roof. But the adult children who are in California, they can't let her go.
Yeah. And that's another topic that's part of the document discussion is the topic of what kind of power of attorneys do we have in place for finances and healthcare? Do you want a living will? And if you do, have you put one in place that will make your wishes more clear and take the pressure off your family members to have to make that decision?
Yeah, that's it's so much easier when you have a roadmap, because no matter how long it is, and what's coming, it's still a shock, and everybody's kind of running around. If you have the blueprint.
Yeah. And, I'm thinking about that in relation to my own parents. It's hard to even think of making a roadmap because we really don't know what turns there are going to be in the road. And yet having the conversations, getting started, talking about some of the possibilities before we're under massive stress will equip us to make much better decisions. We don't make great decisions in crises.
Barb Woolen's our guest. She's a finance specialist with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. By the way, Iowa State University Extension and Outreach is underappreciated still to this day. They offer so many things out there of real practical value that you really should go to the Iowa State University Extension and Outreach website. It's just terrific. Barb Woolen is here to talk about finances of caregiving, an important subject for all of us. I don't know, maybe it's an important subject for my son. I'll see him this weekend.
Yeah, it is. It's an important subject for everyone.
That's
sooner or later.
Finances of Caregiving is a class that will go from October 16th to November 13th, 6:30 to 8:30 in the evening at the Webster County Extension Office, 217 South 25th Street, Fort Dodge. The fee is $35 per person or family, very reasonable. You must register by Monday. And if you have any questions, please call 515-576-2119. That's 576-2119 or www.extension.iastate.edu/Webster. Let me give you that again. www.extension.iastate.edu/Webster. There you go, kids.
And we do take registration online now. In fact, that's our preferred way of registering. So over the weekend, when you're thinking of it, you can just go ahead and go online and the website that Mike said, you'll find an article there and you'll be able to click the link and register just like that.
Barb Woolen's been our guest. Thank you, Barb. All right, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, where Fort Dodge talk.
Please meet Katie. Katie says she needs to tell her fiance the truth before their baby is born. Katie, what's going on?
Well, I'm 4 months pregnant, Jerry, and I've been cheating on him with another woman.
Well, at least we know whose baby it is.
She's my roommate, and he treats me bad and fights me because I won't have sex with him. I'm going through a lot with my pregnancy and hormonal changes. Me and her were just sitting there one night, and I was curious, and we just started talking. I knew she'd been with other women, and I need a woman in my life. I'm so sick of men. I'm tired of them.
Divine Intervention is online at yourfortdodge.com, on Twitter at JMike1400.
Jerry Springer, the worst show ever on television, some of the highest ratings ever. What does that say about our culture in the United States of America? We need liberals. Oh, yes, we have a Jerry Springer president.
Church house, gin house, a schoolhouse, outhouse, on highway number 19. The people keep the city clean. They call it Nutbush. Oh, Nutbush. Call it Nutbush city limit.
Current price times 1,000 acres. Carry the one. These days, it's hard to make the math work for your soybean fields. The BASF Liberty Link system with Liberty herbicide makes it easier. Start with a 2+ bushel per acre yield advantage. Add in lower system input costs and more complete weed control, and you get an extra $33 or more of profit potential per acre compared to Asgrow Roundup Ready to Extend soybeans. Grow smart with Liberty Link and BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
For more than 170 years, Rank Seed has been looking out for farmers. We use our knowledge and expertise to help guide you through the ups and downs of life on the farm. Like when you wake up to find your livestock has started a rock band.
Chicken and eggs and country fried steak and chicken and eggs and country fried steak. Chicken and... Are we too loud?
You've got enough to worry about. Let us take care of your seed. Rank Seed.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. The University of Iowa Mobile Museum is in Fort Dodge this weekend. Terry Cook is on the Fort Museum Board of Directors. He has more information.
12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have the University of Iowa Traveling Museum in Fort Dodge. It'll be at the Opera House or in the Fort parking lot. It's a traveling museum with all different displays in it. It will be open to the public 10 to 5, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. No cost.
A woman has been in prison for her role in the slaying of a Des Moines man. Polk County court records say Crystal Purdy was sentenced Thursday to 35 years. She pleaded guilty to burglary and conspiracy to commit a forcible felony after prosecutors dropped a murder charge for the slaying of Cody Channon on January 9th. Her plea deal calls for her to testify against others involved, including William Burton II. He pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Investigators say they suspect Burton, Purdy, and another man who has yet to be charged went to Channon's home to confront him, and then Burton intentionally shot Channon once in the chest. Police say Burton and Purdy told investigators the gun went off during a scuffle. Iowa officials say the teenage son of a man killed in a Huxley house fire has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions, now in the mall near Riddle's Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodger Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
This is AM 1400, KVFD, the voice for Dodge 233. It's 41 degrees, and the weather forecast, cloudy the rest of the day, high maybe 45 overnight, cloudy with a low of 38. Tomorrow, sunny with a high of 57. Sunday, it'll be sunny with a high of 42. Monday, sunny with a high of 41. Tuesday, sunny high 50. On Wednesday, sunny with a high of 54. Thursday, sunny with a high of 63. Right now, again, 41 degrees. Obituary is brought to us this hour by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. Marianne Schultz has passed away at the age of 61. Her funeral was this morning at 10:30. Judy Hill, age 64, has died. There will be a celebration of the life of Judy I. Hill, and that'll be Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the White House in Des Moines. Obituaries this hour brought to us by Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 1615 North 15th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Gunderson Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-7128 or online at www.gundersonfuneralhome.com. 2:34. Janice Valentine will be with us in just a minute at AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
So here's a story that may sound familiar. I used to post to several job boards only to be overwhelmed with tons of the wrong resumes.
And because there were so many resumes,
it was tough to separate the great candidates from those who weren't the best fit. I mean, it's not easy to find the right person for
my wineries,
my sports medicine business,
our global PR agencies.
That old process was definitely
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring.
ZipRecruiter did the work for me. Their powerful matching technology scanned thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job.
And actively invited them to apply.
So I got qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try ZipRecruiter now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Current price times 1,000 acres, carry the one. These days, it's hard to make the math work for your soybean fields. The BASF Liberty Link system with Liberty herbicide makes it easier. Start with a 2+ bushel per acre yield advantage. Add in lower system input costs and more complete weed control, and you get an extra $33 or more of profit potential per acre. compared to Asgrow Roundup Ready to Extend soybeans. Grow smart with Liberty Link and BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, where Fort Dodge talk.
Let my people go. Fear not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
Michael Devine and Janice Valentine, now at AM 1400 KVFD.
Yes, in these trying times, it feels like end times. We must turn once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Janice Valentine. She will save us at AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. All right.
A church house, gin house.
Oh, you're a good singer there, Janice. I kind of like that. What's happening with you today, Janice?
Well, it's rainy out there.
It really sucks, doesn't it? This is just not good golf weather. Just not good golf weather.
A horrible week for all kinds of weather.
It really has. Janice Valentine is an attorney here in town, of course, and you can reach her at www.valentinelaw.net. That is true, isn't it, Janice? I lost my little Janice Valentine. What the heck did I do with it? Oh, here it is, my little magnet. Here it is. Now we're talking. Valentine Law Office PC. Janice Valentine's at jvalentine@valentinelaw.net. Yes, www.valentinelaw.net. And you can reach Janice Valentine at 515-955-5544. No fee for initial consultation. And she is practicing primarily in workers' compensation and personal injury. She's also a longtime contributor to the program. Anyway, Janice, there's so many negative things to talk about. I searched for something positive for us to talk about. I thought about what can we talk about the Hawkeyes and on and on and on. I couldn't think of anything, Janice. Is this just my natural pessimism? Is this my grumpy old man stuff just showing through? Every time I pick up the newspaper or listen to the radio, this radio station, any radio station, TV, newspapers, it's some sort of nonsense about Brett Kavanaugh and the aftermath of Brett Kavanaugh. The Democrats are out of their minds. They have lost their minds. They are so full of hatred and vindictiveness. I know that you need to get your people to the polls, and to stimulate them emotionally or agitate them emotionally is the way to do it. But man alive, I've never seen anything like this. The Republicans are... I understand the Republicans are the Republicans, but I'll tell you, I've never seen such a mess in my life. I don't, and nobody's going to listen to me, of course, but I just don't agree with the method being used to drive Democratic voters to the polls. I don't know if Brett Kavanaugh is the great Satan as he's being made out to be. I kind of would be surprised. He certainly is a conservative, but he looks like kind of if he wasn't on the Supreme Court, I'd think he was a librarian somewhere. He just doesn't. He doesn't look remarkable at all, and there's nothing other than the accusations of Dr. Ford and others. There's nothing remarkable in his life. I mean, he's a high achiever. He's an outstanding legal mind, and everyone says that. And he's certainly a Republican. And again, he will be a far more conservative voice than Justice Kennedy was. But do you really see this as the end of civilization, the elevation of Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court?
After watching Kanye West yesterday, no, I think.
Wow. I went on YouTube and watched that about 3 times because I didn't believe what I was seeing. He uses a profanity in the Oval Office, and President Jerry Springer says, President Springer.
I don't think I'd ever seen Donald Trump on TV that long being quiet.
Wow.
That was, I think, a record.
Well, yeah, and Kanye West drops the F-bomb. And what does Trump say? What exactly did he say? Is something like, wow, that's about as real as it gets, or that's telling it like it is, or words to that effect. I really don't remember exactly.
Right.
But, he just dropped a totally unnecessary expletive.
And that was actually part that kind of made sense.
If that would have been done, on camera, when Barack Obama was president, or George W. Bush, or any president in my lifetime, they would have thrown him out of the White House right on the spot. Trump, hey, yeah, that's cool. Let's tell us like it is. Wow, we are in such a weird time.
We are. So, yes, back to Brett Kavanaugh. And I guess I would just say I don't think either party has the corner in the market when it comes to vindictiveness.
Well, you're right.
Plenty
Janice.
of that to go around.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. I just.
Yeah. So, the question I have is how do we back off and how do we get back to some kind of normalcy, if that's even possible anymore? And again, I'm just really come to the conclusion that without term limits, we're just at the brink. Politics as usual is not going to get us where we need to be. I think there need to be some significant changes. People are obviously more motivated by being reelected than they are by making good policy and making good decisions. And that's not what was ever intended for our Congress, our legislative branch to be. They're supposed to be doing the work of the people, and they're really doing the work of lobbyists and the career interests that they have. So I just think until we institute some sort of term limits, we're just going to see more and more of the same, unless, as you've indicated, voters actually get to the polls and say, you know what, this is too much. We're just done. We're done being exhausted by these people and the dialogue that's going on. And I just think that without those changes, though, it's not going to get any better. I don't see how it can.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking with a friend of mine the other day, an attorney. Yes, I'm seeing other attorneys, Janice, but I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. Beg your pardon?
I said cheater.
Yeah, really. I was talking with him the other day, and he's a solid Democrat, always has been, great guy. But he's telling me that it's time for me to make a choice, that I have to get on, no matter what the Democrats are doing, and they are flawed, he assures me. He didn't need to, but he tells the Democrats are flawed and they're crazy this time around, but we simply cannot vote the other way. So if we need to change this, who do we vote for? The Democrats are nuts. You're right. The Republicans, maybe not any better. So how do we, standing on the sidelines, aghast at what has become of the political process, and yes, I'm going to include the Supreme Court in the political process here. God, who do we vote for? I really don't know.
Yeah, I've been watching some of the debates on the statewide level, and there are some reasonable options out there. Again, if we're thinking about term limits, I think that the thing then is you just vote out incumbents, and I don't normally go that direction just because you're an incumbent. You might have some good ideas, but if you've been there for 40 years, your ideas are done. If you haven't gotten figured out and put into law in 40 years, maybe it's time for somebody else to step in and see if they can get the job done. So, it's not so much to me, maybe even a party. And for me, it's never really been about party. It's always been about the person. I've never voted straight ticket ever in my life. I doubt I ever will. Because I think that each party has good and bad. Each party has good people and not so good people. And you have to look at what the individual brings to the table and assess that with your values and see if that matches. Because again, I think we even saw at the local debates that we had here a couple of weeks ago, we've got very, very strong candidates running, which is, I think, awesome that voters have a chance to make a choice.
That's
versus,
right.
How sometimes we're voting with our nose held with one hand and pushing the button with the other. So I think we have some very good choices for voters to consider, and the important thing is to get out and vote. Absolutely correct. By the way, John O'Brien, who's running for Tim Crine for the Senate seat that Tim Kreinbrink occupies now, John will be in here at 4:30 on Wednesday. Congressman Steve King will be here at 4 on Monday. And Mr. J.D. Scholten, if he wishes to be on this program before election, he's certainly welcome to do that. I believe I'm going to talk to Dr. Srinivas
one more time, and probably Ann Meyer one more time as well. But there you go. Dr. Srinivas and Ann Meyer. That's a great contest. There's two. Ann Meyer is just a very fine person, and from what I understand, Dr. Srinivas is too. So what we're talking about is differences in approach as to what they would do if they were representative, and that's just the heart and soul of democracy. I've read about both of them. Of course, I know Ann a little bit better, and it's just a great choice. And I have every reason to believe John O'Brien and Tim Kreinbrink offer very distinct choices for the Senate seat that we have here. And frankly, Fred Hubbell versus Kim Reynolds, definitely different visions for the future. So, as far as our state races are concerned, investigate the candidates. I mean, make an informed choice. Don't let yourself get all hot and bothered because this party or that party says they suck. Well, they probably do some days, but some days they don't. Just find out who is best for you and vote for that person. And you and your
and I'm stealing a line from one of the candidates that's running, I think, down in the Polk County area, but I've seen her commercial, and it must not be that effective because I can't remember who it is, but the tagline she's kind of running on is neither party has all the right answers. And that is the truth. I mean, let's face it. We have people on both sides of the aisle that have good ideas. And unfortunately, a lot of times those ideas don't see the light of day just because they are attached with a party name. And I think we need to get beyond that. And, an idea isn't a Republican idea or a Democratic idea. It's a good idea or a bad idea. And we should be voting based on those ideas versus party lines.
Well, let's talk about some ideas then, just for your benefit, my benefit, and the benefit for everybody that's listening. I mean, there's an education debate out there going on especially strong between Governor Reynolds and Mr. Hubbell. And Governor Reynolds believes that we have a solid education plan in place. And Mr. Hubbell believes we need to spend more to fully fund education, as he puts it. Now, the trick there is that when Mr. Hubbell talks about fully funding education, what he's really talking about, some people believe, myself included, that he's talking about increases in teacher salary. Now, part of that is also that we haven't seen any real increase in our educational performance, in our students' educational performance, when we do increase teacher pay. So is it, Janice, I'm going to pose the question to you, is fully funding education, does it really mean increasing teacher pay? And does teacher pay, to your mind, really increase the test scores of our students? And how should we vote then?
Well,
or what factors should we take?
There's probably a discussion to be had what fully funding even means. And I don't really, to be honest, I don't know what Hubbell means by fully funding. I do know you can't just throw money at problems.
Right.
I mean, some problems can be solved with a bit more money, but almost any big problem, it needs more than just money being thrown at it. And we also have to keep in mind, if we're throwing more money there, where is that money coming from?
Mm-hmm.
It has to come from something else, because there's only so much money in the pot. So, those are bigger issues than what we're going to be able to probably attack today. I don't think that there's necessarily a correlation between teacher pay and results, because we know of too many instances where really good teachers would be really good teachers even if they even didn't get paid. Who knows? They have a thankless job. With my work that I do at the school, I see countless examples of teachers going above and beyond, not because they're getting paid to do it, but just because it's the right thing to do. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't be paid more, but I'm definitely not going to suggest that that's the indicator of what test scores are going to look like. And I'm not even sure that we should be basing what we think is a good result or a bad result just based on test scores, because we all know tests only show so much. You can be a pretty awful person and human being and score well on a test. There's so much more to being a functional person in this society than just passing a test.
And you can be a really awful person, maybe with a drug or alcohol problem, but a really awful person, and get the same pay if you're a teacher as a really good, compassionate, hardworking teacher. That
That's
doesn't
right.
just make any sense to me at all. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. It doesn't. You know, the teachers union is still built along the old industrial unions model, where they're just there to increase teacher pay. They're just there to increase the pay and benefits of all the members every single year. That's the only reason that union is there. And some of the teachers unions officials have come out and said that. Well, that harms the teachers union in the long run, I think. And in the year 2016, I don't think that's defensible. I mean, we need to pay teachers what they're worth. Some of them are worth a lot more. Some of them aren't.
You know, when you're talking about education, I think the biggest issue that I know of that probably will be at issue if you're considering whether you want to vote for Fred Hubble or for Kim Reynolds, is the school voucher situation, because I think that is very much in play. And my understanding is there are a number of people in the Republican Party that are very favorable to providing vouchers for individuals, meaning taxpayers would be paying to have families send their kids outside of the public school system. And that would definitely impact the education that would be available in our public schools, because that would dramatically change funding for those schools that lost population to private schools.
Yeah, I'll have to ask Nevin Mulholland how he feels about vouchers when he gets in here later on this afternoon. Some are afraid those vouchers will be used to help some people send their kids to schools like St. Edmund. You know, and St. Edmund struggles.
Correct.
It is. I mean, that I'm glad you brought that up, though, because that's crucial. I think vouchers can be of use, but you know, when you say vouchers to the teachers union, they go crazy. They don't even want to talk about it. You will not let the conversation start. We need to have these conversations starting here. Let's have these conversations. Let's talk about vouchers and the best way to use them, the best, fair, and equitable way to use it. Maybe there is no best, fair, and equitable way. But for God's sake, let's talk about it. And let's talk about increasing teacher pay to those who deserve it, and not increasing teacher pay to those who don't. Let's start these conversations, because we're in a new world now. We're totally in a new world. By the way, I want to mention that the annual Webster County Republican Chili Supper, Ken and Jane Rash are the host and hostess, of course. That's coming up Monday at 5:30. Governor Kim Reynolds will be the keynote speaker. So she probably will take some questions. So it would be, and this is open to the public, by the way. Senator Cranbrink will be there. Mike Sexton, of course. Ann Meyer, I know, will be there as well. So it would be, if you're interested and you want to be informed, which I hope you do, this would be a good way. This would be a good way to help yourself and help to help understand what's going on in our state, in our world. I'm not a big fan of the privatization of Medicaid. I've heard from too many providers, professional people, medical people, that it's just one big pain in the neck. I've told Tim, you and I both know Tim Cranbrink and Mike Sexton. I think they're great guys. I do. I think they're great guys. People of accomplishment. I mean, great family men. But they defend the privatization of Medicaid. I just do not like it. The providers are telling me they're not getting paid and they're not going to take Medicaid patients anymore. What is that?
Yeah, it's not so. To date, my understanding and my limited experience with it hasn't been working. At least not as advertised. So, you know, if there's a way to correct what we've been doing to make it work, then maybe it is a good idea. But as it's being administered right now, it's not working.
No, it doesn't seem to be. And Governor Reynolds and Governor Branstad before her kept telling us to let it work or give it some time, but we've given it some time.
Yeah.
And
it'll be interesting to see how this Farm Bureau plan goes too, because again, my understanding is it's going to be kind of a lot like our old insurance was before the Affordable Care Act, meaning they can exclude you for pre-existing conditions, and they can make you take, you know, they're going to ask questions about your health history. And so I would imagine that their pool is going to be fairly healthy and probably fairly young.
Yeah.
So what that does to the overall pool for the rest of us that aren't quite so young and, you know, have made it past 18. So we do have pre-existing conditions. You know, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and where health insurance goes after that.
That will be interesting, and that's a fact. Janice Valentine's our guest at AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. I always introduce you by talking about that you are practicing primarily in workers' compensation and personal injury. Where are we at on that? I mean, our friends that we just mentioned played a part in changing the law as to who could be sued and who could not. Could you give us an update on that as to where we are with this?
Well, we're kind of still in the mix of things because the changes that were made are so dramatic that most all of them are going to have to be litigated through the appellate court system. So most of those cases, even if they've been filed, they haven't even been heard at the initial hearing stage. So it's a work in progress. The ironic thing is, you know, one of the things that they claimed to prompt the legislation was that they wanted less litigation and less lawyers. Really, it's pretty much the opposite of that because everything is going to need to be litigated to be understood. Because the way the legislation was written is not very concise. So there's a lot of things that the courts will be telling us what they mean. And so I guess at this point, as I'm telling clients that I meet with every day, like I can tell you what these words say. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what the court's going to do with them. So that's kind of the best we can do right now, and just advising people as best we can with what we know as we're sitting here today. But kind of like being a brand new lawyer all over again. You know, you know the tools that you have, but you're not quite sure how to use them because they're brand new.
Well, and there's. I would like to see people who are injured on the job being taken care of. I'm still a working guy. I still consider myself a worker. And if somebody's hurt through negligence, they should be taken care of and compensated, frankly.
Well, you have friends that you visit with that don't necessarily feel that way.
Well, and there, you know, there's more going on there. You know, the lawyers always contribute to the Democratic Party. And
not true.
Well, not all lawyers. I shouldn't say that, but that is a perception that the trial lawyers especially contributed to the Democratic Party. And so the Republicans would like to choke off an income source for the Democratic Party. I mean, there was discussion around that during the tobacco wars when tobacco companies were being sued. Republicans thought, well, those guys, you know, the tobacco companies contribute to us, so naturally they're suing them. It's always about defunding the Democratic Party or defunding the Republican Party or some nonsense. Anyway, Janice, who's going to win this weekend? The Hawkeyes going to win?
I hope so. We should. I mean, if we bring our A game, maybe even our A- game, we should be good.
We should be okay.
And the offense can't stall out. That's what I get worried about sometimes. It seems like even if we make a good push at the start of the game, we kind of get lackadaisical and kind of forget to continue playing. So if they play 4 quarters, I think we're going to be just fine.
All right. Janice Valentine's been our guest. Thank you, Janice.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great weekend. Go Hawks.
Bye-bye.
Take the worry out of winter with a winter weather advisor on KVFD, brought to you by Community Health Center Fort Dodge, offering dental, behavioral health, and general medical assistance for men, women, and children. They're committed to your well-being. Community Health Center. Get to know them. And Creative Cakes, making life sweet with espresso, lunch, gourmet cupcakes, and other sweet treats. Creative Cakes in the Crossroads Mall, Fort Dodge. They make life sweet. Listen for the winter weather advisor on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD.
This is KVFD, Fort Dodge, Iowa. It's 3 o'clock.
Wall Street rallies. I'm Lisa Brady. The Dow up 280 points at the closing bell, snapping a 2-day slide blamed mainly on rising interest rates, though volume was much lower today.
So we'll see what we see next week. But let's put this week into perspective for just a second. So this is not a correction. A correction is a pullback of 10%. It's not a bear market, pullback of 20%. This is simply a pullback that we've had this week.
Fox Business Network's Jerry Willis, the NASDAQ up over 160 points. That's more than a 2% gain. The Dow and the S&P gaining more than 1% today. Facebook announcing just how many users were affected by the recent security breach and what the hackers got. Fox's Kristen Goodwin has this live.
Facebook says nearly 30 million users' accounts were breached, explaining for 15 million attackers accessed name and contact details like phone numbers, email, or both. For 14 million attackers accessed the same data and other details, including gender, birthday, and the last 10 places they checked into. Hackers were able to exploit a bug in the site's code to seize control of accounts. Reps say the bug has been fixed. The FBI is investigating, and there is no evidence the breach is related to the midterm elections. Facebook plans to send messages to all those affected. Lisa.
Thanks, Kristen. Hurricane Michael now blamed for at least 13 deaths in 4 states, from Virginia to the Florida Panhandle, where whole neighborhoods are in shambles.
They're telling people who evacuated to stay out, don't come back. And they're telling people who are here, who rode out the storm, to leave if they can, because the basic services aren't going to be on here for a month or more. That includes water and power.
Fox's Rick Leventhal in Panama City. Overall, more than 1 million homes and businesses without power in several states. The president plans to visit Florida and Georgia next week. This is Fox News.
To experience relief from muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast and reduce muscle soreness. TheraWorks Relief can also prevent muscle cramps before they start, so you can get a full night's sleep without having to worry about muscle cramps. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is a life-changing product, and you don't even need a prescription. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens pharmacies, or TheraWorksRelief.com.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast, smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
American pastor Andrew Brunson, held for 2 years in Turkey, is released.
He, although being convicted of terror charges, has had the travel ban lifted, the house arrest lifted, and the control order lifted. And he was sentenced just to time served, which means the path is clear for him to return to the US. The trial today went very quickly. They had a few witnesses. Then Brunson was asked to say a few words. He said only, "I am innocent. Please let me go." And then a few hours later, the judge made this ruling.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in Turkey. Faulty airbags prompt a new Toyota recall, while an auto safety group demands a recall for millions of Kia and Hyundai vehicles. Fox's Jeff Manasso.
Toyota is recalling almost 188,000 2018 to 2019 Tundra pickups and Sequoia SUVs and 2019 Avalon sedans over airbags that Toyota says may not inflate in a crash. No word on injuries. And the Center for Auto Safety is demanding that Hyundai and Kia recall almost 3 million cars and SUVs, citing hundreds of fire or burning wire complaints since 2010.
Those complaints involve Kia Sorento, Optima, and Soul models, and the Hyundai Sonata and Santa Fe. The federal safety officials are already investigating the fires as part of a probe into engine failures. President Trump due to arrive in Ohio at this hour for another midterm campaign rally. But he's being asked not to use Prince music anymore. That's one of the frequent items on the president's rally playlist, but the late pop star's surviving family members are opposed to him using any of the music. Prince's half-brother Omar Baker tweeting about it. The Rolling Stones repeatedly told the president's campaign to stop using their music, but he still does. Again, a stronger finish to the week on Wall Street, the Dow up 287 points. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
Divine Intervention is online at yourfortdodge.com, on Twitter at JMike1400.
That's right. It's 3:05, 5 minutes after 3, 42 degrees. Going to be a pretty cool football night. To talk a little bit more about football night in our area is sports director Alex Benzagala. How are you, Alex?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
So you're getting out of here pretty quick, going over to Sioux City.
I sure am. I'm about to head out now.
You must have lost a bet to go to Sioux City, I'll tell you, pal.
Yeah, it's a long trip, but it'll be
fun.
It's
a long trip. I shouldn't say that about it. I shouldn't diss Sioux City, I suppose. But who are we playing tonight? The Dodgers are playing in Sioux City. Who are we playing?
Playing West High School.
West High
over
School.
Sioux City. So
all right, so that's not the Red Raiders. That's
it's the Wolverines.
Wolverines. Yeah, it's the East Red Raiders, I think, that is in the other big public school in town anyway. And then there's Bishop Heelan, of course. But anyway, what do you look? Have you scouted the Wolverines at all? Can you tell us anything about the Wolverines?
I have. It's a team that lost big time last week, 77-6 against Southeast Polk.
Whoa!
So they're reeling. They've lost 4 straight. So
and we beat Southeast Polk.
Exactly. So this one could be ugly, Mike.
Well, I'll have to tune in. What station are you broadcasting on?
On the Eagle, 92.1.
92.1, the Eagle, and the game starts, or you'll go on the air at what time?
A few minutes before 7. So
a few minutes before 7.
Yep.
All right. On Classic Hits, 92.1, the Eagle.
Absolutely.
All right. The Fort Dodge Dodgers taking on the Sioux City West Wolverines, who got beat 77-6
last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beatdown. That is a total beatdown. And I'll tell you what, I don't care. You know, Drake Miller is an impressive quarterback. If he puts on some, and he's a good sized kid. I still think he can play D1.
Oh, I think he's got a shot, but it's just a matter of time. You know, if colleges, I think a part of it too. He's a little short for a quarterback, but man, he's got an arm.
You know, I watched the other night Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints, 39 years old and maybe 5'10", became the passer, the quarterback who leads everybody, who has gained more passing yards than anybody in the history of the NFL.
Of course, and Russell Wilson too. So he's got everything you want. He's a great leader, great arm, physical, tough kid, works really hard. So I expect him to put up a big night tonight, Mike.
Yeah, I do too. I hope the major schools in our state take a look at it. You know, a serious look. I think the last quarterback we had from Fort Dodge that went to a major university in state was Randy Breiners, and that was back in the mid-90s. And he was a great quarterback here. But I hope that, I hope Kirk Ferentz and I hope Matt Campbell down in Iowa State and Coach Mark, the UNI coach. God, it just went out of my head. Farr, is that his name? Oh, no, it's terrible. Anyway, yeah. So what are you looking from the Fort Dodge Dodgers? It sounds like a lot of passing yards.
Yeah, a lot of passing yards and a tough game also against their opponent who lost their starting quarterback in Aiden Belt. So this is a team that's reeling. They've lost 4 straight. It's a good time for Fort Dodge to be playing them. And so Fort Dodge right now is looking for a playoff spot, and a win tonight would really help.
Yeah. Well, I'd be surprised if we lost that.
I'd be shocked.
Let's talk a little bit about St. Edmund. Where are they going? No, they're in town.
They're here. They're at home at Dodger Stadium, and that's a team that has really struggled in the last month or so. I believe they've lost 3 or 4 in a row, and they're trying to find their way. It's been a tough season for the Gales.
Yeah, well, yeah. They don't have a lot of size over there. You know, they practice right across the street here.
And they play really hard. It's just a tough schedule, too, and you're playing another good team here tonight in Alta Aurelia as well. So, yeah, it's just been a lot of tough breaks.
I've went out to see the Gales a couple of times. Again, they lack size, and I don't know how many seniors they got on the team, but they do play their hearts out, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the Gales for the years they had. It's not their best season. They're not going to the state tournament this year. They're not going to the state championship, but they've committed. They have done us proud and themselves proud as well. I really mean that. You know, I went to an Iowa Central game. Iowa Central, I'll tell you, they're a tough football
team. The Trions are really improved.
Great,
a new head coach who's got a lot of energy in Montalto, and they got a big game. It's homecoming this week too for the Trions.
Is it homecoming this week for the Trions?
Yeah, it is.
So is their game on Sunday or Saturday? I can never remember.
Yeah, it's on Saturday. It'll be tomorrow.
All right. Let's go to the phones. AM 1400 KVFD. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, Mike. How are you, my friend?
Real good, buddy.
Hey, want to put out a shout out. If anybody really enjoys spectator sports, athletic, the Iowa Central Triton rugby group is very enjoyable to watch. They've got 3 home games left. I think there's a concussion protocol in football, but I don't think they have one in rugby to the point where anybody has a chance to really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and they're having a super year.
Rugby, really? That's terrific. Where do they play, Marlo?
What's that? They play down at the Crimmins building. They have a field set up. Don Woodard's nice enough to donate a beautiful new scoreboard. So life is good. And is that your relative up and out going on wrestling? Football. Football, I mean, excuse me.
We're part of the same family tree. Carson Devine, oh, God. Carson Devine's grandfather and my dad were first cousins. Now, we're kind of removed, in other words.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. He's having a good season for him, I see in the paper.
It looks like he is. Yeah, I may have met him once, but I don't know for sure.
All right. Well, I'd love to see you guys at a Triton rugby game. It's quite a spectacle. They like to run people over, and then it's just it's a really interesting sport to say the least. But I'll hang up so I can hear you guys on the rest of your sports.
All right. Thank you, Marlon. Thank you for your call. Yeah, you a rugby fan, Alex?
Well, it's a great program in Iowa Central. They've got a good program up at Iowa Central. So
I'll try to have to see them. I didn't even know they had rugby at Iowa Central. I mean, that they played other teams with and stuff.
I think they're highly ranked too. I don't quote me on that, but I think they're up there too.
Okay.
So,
all right. So you're out of here to Sioux City West. Dodgers taking on Sioux City West, and the Gales taking on, who did you say? Alta
Aurelia. Yeah.
All right. AM 1400 KBFT. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Well, good afternoon. This is the Doctor of Truth, the Truth Doctor. How in the world is the Truth Doctor doing?
Well, I'm doing real well. I'm just talking sports with Alex Benzagala here, our sports guy. I'm going to cut him loose, and then we're going to talk, Ed. Hang tight. Alex, is there anything else we need to know here?
No, that's it. I'll be on the road now. Fort Dodge on the road at Sioux City West starting at 7 p.m.
All right, 92.1 starting at 7. That's the frequency you're on. Who's got the Gale or the Gales? Who's got the Dodger? Who's got the Gales game? What frequency is that on?
That's on 99.7 on Sunny.
On Sunny 99.7. Good enough. All right, we're looking forward to some great football action tonight.
All right, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, see you later. This is AM 1400 KBFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome to the program, and I'm glad to do it. Big Ed from Georgia. How are you, Ed?
Well, I'm hanging in there, running around like a wild man.
Where are you? Are you in Iowa? Or are you in Georgia? Where are you at?
Well, I'm in Georgia right now. I hope to get to Iowa probably in about a month or so. And I just called to see. I wanted to get to that. I found out about it too late to get to the Council Bluffs rally, or I'd have been there. But did you get to go?
I did not get to go to Council Bluffs rally. I was on the air up here, but I did watch the whole thing online, and it was quite a rally. Quite a rally. What do you think of that?
Goodness gracious! I'll tell you what. We have got to have a red wave. I'm telling you.
Are you going to get one in Georgia?
It's looking better all the time. With Trump getting out there, and with people seeing the mob out running around and kicking people and all that, and throwing fits and stuff like that, I think the conservative Christians and conservatives and people that are on the other side are seeing that the country is in terrible shape because of the mobs.
Well, I was going to ask you how you felt about that whole Brett Kavanaugh confirmation process.
Well, to tell you the truth, Doctor of Truth, I was really sick and nervous and worried that they were going to be able to change things. But our Senator Grassley, was one of the neatest guys. I'm telling you, I have so much respect for Senator Grassley for standing up for Iowa. And then I also, McConnell got off his rear end and rallied the dadgum senators on our side, and they stuck together for a change for what was right.
Yes, they did. Some of the Democrats, and I can't believe they did this. They poked Brett Kavanaugh. They prodded him. They about to set him on fire. There were threats against his family, threats against his person, following him around in the hallways of the Senate, screaming filthy things at him. And then he blew up at him. and pushed back on him. They were saying all these horrible, untrue things about him and making all these ugly insinuations, and brought in Dr. Ford with this old accusation. And then when he did blow up and defend himself in his honor, well, then they criticized him for that. It was one of the ugliest things that I've ever seen. It really was. It was ugly.
Well, Michael, I agree with you 100%. I was so sad for the country to see such a debacle like that, and so mean and just lies and everything else. It was tough to watch.
Oh, it was. There's then we had Cory Booker here in Iowa after he was Spartacus. You know, it's Cory Booker from New Jersey, was on the Senate Judiciary Committee, and then he comes out here and he's raising hell and he's telling everybody to get out in the streets. I mean, are these people reasonable voters? I mean, are these people somebody we should respect? I
don't think so. I think George Soros has got them stirred up, and I think they're on George Soros, one of the most evil persons I've ever heard of in the whole wide world.
Well, this is third world radicalism. These are people that storm up and down the streets. You should see some of the things that go on in Portland, Oregon. There are these Antifa people that just take over neighborhoods for several hours at a time, and the police stand down. They just sit and watch these people direct traffic and say, no, you can't come in here right now. We're this group or that group, or whatever crazy group they are. We're taking over this part of town all afternoon, and you can't come in here. And the police just sit there and look, which means that the mayor and the city council are okay with these raggedy, violent people taking over parts of the town.
Unreal, absolutely un-American. I'm telling you, what's the truth? We're in for a terrible time if these radical left-wing people get in office. I'll tell you, I'm hoping that Iowans and all conservatives will get off of their rear end and vote this November or before.
I just would like to note that these folks have been screaming in the streets, threatening violence, actually engaging in violence. Do you suppose they'll stop it after November 6th, win or lose? Because they're not going to. They're not going to. They're going to violently intimidate people, break the law, do whatever it is. They want power, and they'll get it any way they can. The ends justify the means. These are dangerous times with dangerous people. I don't know what got into some older ladies in our country, but women my age. But some of them are just as bad as anybody.
Well, to all the Iowans that can hear me, Dr. Michael Devine, the Truth Doctor, is telling the truth 100%. 100%, ladies and gentlemen.
I am the Doctor of Truth, Ed, as you know.
I was one of the few that caught it, though. I caught it right away, too.
You gave me the name of the Truth Doctor, too. I appreciate that. You remember Nevin Mulholland.
I love you as a friend, I'll tell you that.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate you calling. I haven't heard from you for a long time. I thought maybe you fell out of love with me, but
absolutely not. I talked to you not too terrible long ago.
Wasn't that? Okay, maybe it wasn't that long ago.
Not too terrible long ago, but
man gets older, Ed.
Are you pulling for Iowa or Iowa State or both?
Oh, I got to pull for Iowa and Iowa State and UNI.
And yes, and UNI, and I also, except when Iowa plays Iowa State. But they're looking pretty good so far. Iowa and Iowa State, I just can't get over how they turned their program around.
Yeah, they've done it. Matt Campbell's been a terrific coach, a great coach. We've been very fortunate.
We have.
Ed,
I am so worried about what's going to happen in November, and I'm hoping that all the conservatives will come out and vote. That's for sure. Vote Reagan. Vote for law and order.
Well, vote for common decency, maybe.
And on top of that, yes, completely. Be nice to one another, but Eric Holder come out and said when Republicans go low, which I don't think they do, but he says they do. But if they do, he says get out and kick them.
Get out. Oh yeah. Well, Michelle
beat the hell out of him, if you ask me.
Oh sure, yeah. I wouldn't put it past him. Michelle Obama. He was referring to Michelle Obama because she used to say when they go low, we'll go high, which is admirable. But he's saying now when they go low, let's kick them. Let's go down there with them and kick them and do all kinds.
This is the new Democratic Party. Kick them.
This is the new new and improved Democratic Party who deface our symbols, who have abandoned our faith in our culture, and would seek to really impose their will by force on us. It's a dangerous time.
Oh, it is. I'm not so much concerned for me. You know, I'm 72 now, and I've lived a good life. But I'm concerned for every American that every American. I don't care how old they are, but especially the younger people, because this socialism. If they don't see this socialism coming, it is not going to be pretty.
Oh, I don't. I think it's beyond socialism. I think this is authoritarianism. What the Democrats especially are sounding like is that they want to take control of all the levers of power in this country, and we will then think as they do. We will be forced to speak as they do, act as they do, and believe as they do. That is not freedom, ladies and gentlemen. That is nothing but authoritarianism. And that's what they want. Listen to them. Listen to them when they talk about the different groups that they represent and how we will be forced to address these different groups in the future, and how we will be allowed to conduct a civil discourse, as they say. Now, you cannot have a civil discourse if one party is pointing a gun at your head and say, do and think as I do. This is it. I have lived through the 60s, the anti-war protests, civil rights demonstrations, all those things. I never saw a time when a huge group of people led by a major political party are actually threatening to tell us how to think, act, and talk. I want you to think about that, Ed. I mean, the anti-war protesters never did that. Civil rights protesters never did that. But by golly, they got it on their agenda. We're going to restore decency, they say. What does that mean? Well, they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and we're going to do what they tell. We're going to do what they tell us to do, and they're mad at.
That is exactly right. And let me add this before I have to get off the air. But every person that's listening to me, you better check on Common Core, because that's exactly what the Truth Doctor is talking about. Act alike, think alike, walk off the cliff alike. Agree, or you're going to. I hate to say what would happen to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, you will be ruined. As they're saying now, well, you have free speech, but there's no reason for any employer to have you on staff if you think a certain way. Think about that for a minute. Well, that's a sidestep around freedom of speech. They're going to control your speech without breaking the law. And there are actually corporations in the United States are going along with this. And they're going along with it because leftist radicals are threatening them. We will picket your buildings. We will call you a racist. We'll do this. We'll do that. All you have to do is forbid your workers from speaking in a way that we disapprove of. Think about that. That's who these people are.
Scary. It's so scary. I mean, to tell you, Michael, and you're one of the true speakers of the truth. And I just wish more people could hear you. I wish you had status like, who am I trying to think of? Rush Limbaugh. I think you could be the voice for this country, not just Iowa.
Thank you. That's very nice. I'll tell you what I'd like is Rush Limbaugh's paycheck. He makes $56 million a year. I don't make that here, Ed.
No, and I guarantee you one thing. I'll be the first to admit, every dime you make, you earn.
Thank you, sir. Ed, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and it's all pleasure, and I agree. I love talking to you, and I appreciate what you're doing for America, for the USA. We can't lose it. We absolutely cannot lose it, ladies and gentlemen. Vote conservative, vote Ed. Please. Thank you so much. The Truth Doctor will keep telling the truth.
Thank you, Ed. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, bye.
All right. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice for death. Man, if I was only that good. If I was really that good, that would be great. Anyway, you heard Barb Woolen here on the program a little bit earlier talking about a class at the Iowa State University Extension Office and Outreach, Finances of Caregiving. That's the next few Tuesdays, October 16th through November 13th, from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Webster County Extension Office. at 217 South 25th Street here in Fort Dodge. The fee is $35 a person or family. You must register by Monday, and you can do that by calling 515-576-2119 if you have a question, or you can register at www.extension.iastate.edu/Webster. Now, this is about caregiving, caregivers, and care receivers. We're talking about what happens when people get older and what a family should do to transition, whether it's to whether a care center is in the future in the next couple of years, or what, or who's going to do what in the family. So fights can be held to a minimum, if not eliminated. It's a great idea. Again, if you have a question, 515-576-2119, or register at www.extension.iastate.edu/Webster. And that's coming up October 16th through the 19th, every Tuesday from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Webster County Extension Service, 217 South 25th Street here in Fort Dodge. And, of course, the Eagles dance, now the Messengers got this screwed up. The Eagles dance is not tomorrow night. It's tonight. There's a dance at the Eagles tonight. The cost is $10. Dance lessons will be offered at 7:15. We're going to have some rock and roll, the cha-cha, waltz, country. These are dance lessons. The doors open from 7 to 11. That's at the Eagles Club here in town, 1018 First Avenue North. Okay? Again, the Messengers got this wrong in the paper. The Eagles dance is not tomorrow night. It is tonight. It costs $10. Again, there'll be dance lessons starting at 7:15, featuring rock and roll. They'll teach you to do the cha-cha, waltz, country, those sorts of things, all good things. The doors open at between 7 and 11, and that's at the Eagles right here in town at 1018 First Avenue North, Fort Dodge. It's 3:27 at AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. The University of Iowa Mobile Museum is in Fort Dodge this weekend. Terry Cook is on the Fort Museum Board of Directors. He has more information.
12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have the University of Iowa Traveling Museum in Fort Dodge. It'll be at the Opera House or in the Fort parking lot. It's a traveling museum with all different displays in it. It will be open to the public 10 to 5, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. No cost.
A woman has been imprisoned for her role in the slaying of a Des Moines man. Polk County court records say Crystal Purdy was sentenced Thursday to 35 years. She pleaded guilty to burglary and conspiracy to commit a forcible felony after prosecutors dropped a murder charge for the slaying of Cody Channon on January 9th. Her plea deal calls for her to testify against others involved, including William Burton II. He pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Investigators say they suspect Burton, Purdy, and another man who has yet to be charged went to Channon's home to confront him, and then Burton intentionally shot Channon once in the chest. Police say Burton and Purdy told investigators the gun went off during a scuffle. Iowa officials say the teenage son of a man killed in a Huxley house fire has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions, now in the mall near Riddle's Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodgers Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Daytime highs approaching 45 this afternoon under cloudy skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 38 tonight. High temperatures reach up to 57 tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Low 40s Sunday and Monday with a chance for scattered showers Sunday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 42.
Here's a look at how the markets closed today. December corn up 4.5 at 373 3/4. March up 4.5 at 385 3/4. May corn up 4 1/4 at 392 3/4. July up 3 3/4 at 397 3/4. November soybeans up 9 1/4 at 867 1/2. January up 9 1/4 at 881 3/4. March beans up 9 1/2 at 894 1/2. May up 9 1/4 at 907 3/4. December wheat closed up 9 1/4 at 517 1/4. Soybean meal up 10 cents a ton to close at 316.90. October live cattle down 30 cents at 112.32. December down 60 at 116.17. October feeders down 202 at 154.70. November down 212 at 154.62. October lean hogs up 7 cents at 68.75. December up 57 at $55. I'm Dwayne Murley.
The USDA recommends Americans eat 2 servings of fish a week for good health. Hi, I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield. Fish has healthy omega-3 fats. Some choices that are high in omega-3s and lower in mercury are salmon, trout, and sardines. Cooking methods that don't add extra fat to fish are recommended, such as grilling, broiling, and roasting, even baking. Herbs and spices, lemon and lime juice can add flavor without adding salt. Shellfish also counts as a healthy serving of fish. Oysters, mussels, clams, and squid, which is also called calamari. Be sure to cook oysters, mussels, and clams safely. Canned seafood is a quick way to get your servings, salmon and tuna, for example. While canned white tuna is higher in omega-3s, the USDA says canned light tuna is lower in mercury. You can get creative with fish, opting for a shrimp stir-fry, grilled fish tacos, or salmon patties. Canned tuna and salmon for sandwiches have less sodium than most deli meats. Omega-3 fats from seafood can help improve nervous system development in babies and children, but how much should they eat? Serve seafood to children twice a week in portions appropriate for their age and appetite. Eating seafood doesn't have to be expensive. Whiting, tilapia, sardines, canned tuna, and some frozen seafood are usually lower cost options. I'm Julie Harker with Healthy Living on Brownfield. With Healthy Living.
Hey, you want to do a rhyme? 1, 2, buckle my belt. That's not how it goes.
Yes, it is. It only takes 2 seconds to buckle up, Mom. 1, 2, buckle my belt.
Oh, I see what you did there. Very clever and very true. Now, can we finish the rhyme?
As long as your hands are on the wheel and your eyes are on the road.
Thanks, buddy.
It only takes 2 seconds to buckle up. This message brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau.
For more than 170 years, Rank Seed has been looking out for farmers. We use our knowledge and expertise to help guide you through the ups and downs of life on the farm. Like when you wake up to find your livestock has started a rock band.
Chicken and eggs and country fried steak, and chicken and eggs and country fried steak. Chicken and... Are we too loud?
You've got enough to worry about. Let us take care of your seed. Rank Seed.
AM 1400 KVFT, the voice of Fort Dodge. It's 334, 42 degrees. Obituaries this hour brought to us by Loftus Fido Seavers Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 307 South 12th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Loftus Fido Seavers Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-3156 or online at www.loftusfidoseaversfuneralhome.com. George Jacobson has died. Edward George Jacobson died at the age of 87. His service is tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning at the Washington Lutheran Church in Duncombe. Judy I. Hill. Judy Hill has died at the age of 64. There will be a celebration of the life of Judy Hill on Sunday at the White House in Des Moines. Marianne Schultz has died. Her service was today at 10:30 in the morning at Loftus Fido Seavers Funeral Home. Obituaries this hour brought to us by Loftus Fido Seavers Funeral Home and Cremation Services at 307 South 12th Street, Fort Dodge. You may contact Loftus Vital Receivers Funeral Home and Cremation Services by calling 515-576-3156 or online at www.loftusvitalreceiversfuneralhome.com. 335, this is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge.
The opinions and remarks expressed on this radio program by the host, guests, and call-in listeners are the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not reflect the views of management or ownership of KVFD AM 1400.
Hi, this is Heather Vondi with Neighborhood Realty. Do you feel like you're seeing our signs everywhere? Well, that's because you are. Neighborhood Realty has 2 offices covering a huge market from Manson Twin Lakes area to Interstate 35 and everything in between. When you work with Neighborhood Realty, you get an entire team working together to get you moved. Call today or check out our easy-to-use website at neighborhood-realty.net. Neighborhood Realty, devoted to your real estate needs.
At Rank Seed, we've supported our farmers for more than 170 years. Our knowledge and expertise will help guide you through the ups and downs of life on the farm. Like when you discover your hen house has become a gambling house.
Triple dog dare ya! Straight! Flush! Winner,
You've got enough to worry about. Let us take care of your seed. Rank Seed.
So here's a story that may sound familiar. I used to post to several job boards only to be overwhelmed with tons of the wrong resumes.
And because there were so many resumes,
it was tough to separate the great candidates from those who weren't the best fit. I mean, it's not easy to find the right person for
my wineries,
my sports medicine business,
our global PR agencies.
That old process was definitely not smart.
Then I went to ZipRecruiter. They figured out hiring.
ZipRecruiter did the work for me. Their powerful matching technology scanned thousands of resumes to identify people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job.
And actively invited them to apply.
So I got qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try ZipRecruiter now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Blue Ribbon, Pelham Waters, your water pro since 1949.
Do you have questions about your water? What is a whole home filter? Is my softener working or not? Can I get rid of that red stain around the sink? I'm Brian with Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters. We're here to fix problem water. We'll work with you to find the right solution for you. We've been serving the Fort Dodge area since 1949. Let us serve your water treatment needs. Sales, service, rentals. Blue Ribbon Pelham Waters, your complete water store.
Flat Out Clean Janitorial Services now handles your residential cleaning. You've trusted them for commercial cleaning, and now you can trust them to do the same quality work in your home. Flat Out Clean will come to your home, clean your carpets, and refinish and wax your floors. Don't spend your hard-earned money on new carpet and flooring when all you really need is Flat Out Clean Janitorial Services. For a free estimate, find them on Facebook or call 570-9672. Flat Out Clean Janitorial Services, Fort Dodge.
First State Bank, first for you.
First State Bank and its ag lenders are first for you. They have the desire to work with you and the authority to make their decisions locally. When it comes to agriculture, they strive to be your #1 financial institution leader. Stop into one of their 7 convenient locations or give one of their ag lenders a call. First State Bank, your ag team of choice in Central Iowa. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
First State Bank, first for you.
You drive slow. Hey, there's a parking spot.
Would you stop it? You are far more annoying than helpful.
Your blinker's still on.
If you're going to drive from the back seat, at least make sure you buckle up. You know, like you would if you were in the front, which you're not.
Hey, green means go.
Being in the back seat unbuckled is incredibly unsafe if we're in a crash. You could become a dangerous projectile inside the vehicle, injuring or possibly killing all of us.
It's the pedal on your right, Grandma.
Okay, that's enough. For the sake of sanity and safety, would you please shut and buckle up?
Brought to you by the Iowa Department of Public Safety, Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau.
Tough as nails, nerves of steel. If you've come to test our metal, you better tighten up your chin strap. Get amped up for all the gridiron action on the Panther Sports Network.
University of Northern Iowa sports are brought to you on the Voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD by Mitch Lund State Farm, Party Productions, The Other Store, and New Age Media. Catch UNI Sports right here on the Voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400 KVFD.
Want to know what's going on at the General Store? Then hop on Facebook and check out their page. Just search for the General Store Fort Dodge. It's the easy way to find out about all their daily and weekly specials. You'll even see pictures of some of their favorite things. When you want to know what's going on at the General Store, just get on their Facebook page and get ready to save. And remember, everything at the General Store is always tax-free, and all proceeds go toward helping people in our community. The General Store, 12 North 25th, Fort Dodge.
I'm an addict. If football's on TV, I'm watching. And when I'm watching, there's only two things that will get me out of my recliner. And one of those is a trip to the buffet table. Ours always includes grilled brats and hot dogs on Village Hearth buns. At halftime, we bring out a huge platter of cold cut sandwiches made on Country Hearth multigrain bread. Baked right here in the Midwest, Country Hearth and Village Hearth breads and buns are always fresh and delicious.
Touchdown! Yes! Yes!
Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, where Fort Dodge talks.
Please meet Katie. Katie says she needs to tell her fiance the truth before their baby is born. Katie, what's going on?
Well, I'm 4 months pregnant, Jerry, and I've been cheating on him with another woman.
Well, at least we know whose baby it is.
She's my roommate, and he treats me bad and fights with me because I won't have sex with him. I'm going through a lot with my pregnancy, hormonal changes. Me and her were just sitting there one night, and I was curious, and we just started talking. I knew she'd been with other women, and I need a woman in my life. I'm so sick of men. I'm tired of them.
Michael Devine, the mayor of Manville.
It's a fancy title for a part-time job.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
So what do you think? Are the guests on the Jerry Springer program Democrats or Republican? Who do you think? Do you think that girl has a political affiliation? I'm just betting that she's a Democrat. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm an old white man. I'm probably wrong. What do I know, really? She's probably, Democrat.
A schoolhouse outhouse on highway number 19. But people keep the city clean. They call it Nutbush. Oh, Nutbush. Call it Nutbush City Limits.
Fort Dodge City Limits. Anyway, that's Ike and Tina Turner from a long time ago when they were still married. Ike's been dead quite a long time now. You know, I'm accused of having a bias, a prejudice, a strong dislike for Hillary Clinton. I'm very torn about how I felt about Hillary Clinton over the years. On one hand, I kind of understand her. I mean, she's a few years older than me, but not that many years. We kind of came out of the same culture, so to speak. And when she was in school, no doubt, and let's be honest, Hillary Clinton was never the best-looking woman in the whole class. I mean, according to First in His Class by David Marinus, Bill Clinton introduced Hillary to his mother. Now, Bill Clinton's mother, if you recall, was a good old Southern girl. She liked to go down to casinos. She liked to drink and dance and do all, you know, she was a fun person. And Clinton gave her, his mother, full credit for his optimism and a lot of other things. And maybe his ability as an alley cat. I don't know. But he gave his mother credit for his optimism and for his toughness in some cases. And from what I remember of Bill Clinton's mother, yeah, probably so. She was a tough old girl who liked to have a good time, and good for her. But she didn't like Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton's mother did not like Hillary Clinton. This was back in the 70s, and Hillary Clinton was kind of a prickly feminist. You know, she was going to change the world. You know, and she was going to do this and that and some other things. Bill Clinton's mother complained to Bill, and Bill memorably told his mother, "Mama, I don't have time for no beauty queen. I got work to do." In other words, he needed a partner in politics. The love of Bill Clinton's life was probably politics, and he was awesome at it. Bill Clinton still is an awesome politician. He and Ronald Reagan, I mean, opposite sides of the political spectrum, of course, but they are awesome politicians. President Reagan, of course, is deceased some years ago. But Hillary Clinton, again, very bright, very talented, and no doubt felt, even though she came from a privileged background, very much constricted. When I was a younger man, I read Sylvia Plath, A Bell Jar, about how confined women, even middle-class women, even professional women found their lives. And I was astounded by the revelations of Sylvia Plath as, again, a very young guy. But I'm sure Hillary Clinton felt that she was in a bell jar sometimes, just flying around in that bell jar, never able to get out, wanting to be released, wanting to have a life, wanting to do things and be an accomplished person, and she couldn't because for no other reason than she was a female, which is about the dumbest reason on earth. And she was determined to change that. And I'll tell you, she was one of the people that did change our world that way. Now, she's been kind of scarred over the years, and she made a deal with the devil with Bill Clinton, because she has known almost from the start that Bill Clinton liked to have sex with a lot of women, and that he was occasionally aggressive with women. Dick Morris, in one of his books, and the Clintons and Dick Morris at one time were very good friends. Dick Morris took Hillary aside one time, according to Dick Morris, and brought up the fact that Bill cheated on her a lot. And she just looked at him in a rather cold way and said, "There's worse things in the world than being unfaithful," and walked off. There's a certain cold-blooded calculation in careerism about Bill and Hillary Clinton, and they are still together today, and maybe they love each other in a fashion, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Bill Clinton is a Me Too guy all the way. But Hillary Clinton recently, telling CNN's Christine Amanpour, that Bill Clinton, well, there's just a very significant difference, according to Hillary. There's a very significant difference between some of the men accused today and her husband back in the 90s, including, I guess, Brett Kavanaugh. Hillary Clinton says that the intense, long-lasting partisan investigation that was conducted in the 90s, followed by an impeachment, is the difference. Well, Bill Clinton was being impeached for one thing, for lying under oath, which he most certainly did. He lied under oath more than once. But the Democrats rallied behind them. You remember this, don't you? The Democrats refused to hear the women who accused Bill Clinton of assault. And there wasn't one or three, as with Brett Kavanaugh. There were more than 10 women. And who can forget Monica Lewinsky? I mean, these things weren't made up. These things came out. They came to light. It's been going on for a long, long time. And who saved the old alley cat? Well, that was Hillary Clinton. Remember the vast right-wing conspiracy? The vast right-wing conspiracy. So where we are today is that Brett Kavanaugh is now on the Supreme Court, but the Democrats and the liberals have made no secret of the fact that they intend to exorciate Brett Kavanaugh at every turn. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, well, he's going around the country with his wife, celebrated as one of the terrific figures in the Democratic Party here today. And he's giving little talks along, he and Hillary are giving little reassuring talks that, yes, middle-class liberalism run by university graduates who've never done a single thing in the private sector, but are more than qualified to be public officials, even President of the United States, their values will once again be triumphant. If you want to hear the message live and in person, the tickets start at $745 each. Now, this is for a man who very aggressively attacked more than one woman. Very aggressively attacked more than one woman. Now, Dr. Christine Ford's testimony was compelling, that's for sure. But she didn't have anything to corroborate her story. The women attacked by Clinton or taken advantage of by Clinton did have corroboration. And what was there proof that he lied? Why, yes. I used to play the audio clip. I want the American people to listen to me. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Of course he did. The Democrats made excuse after excuse after excuse for his behavior. Bill Maher was not on HBO at the time. He was on ABC Late Night. But he was sneering at everybody who might have a problem with Bill Clinton cheating on his wife and lying about it under oath while he was president of the United States. Well, he had to lie. He had to lie, Maher said. And besides, it's just about sex. It's just about sex. And the theme and the line of the Democratic Party through the 1990s when Bill Clinton was president, and they cannot deny this, the theme was that, yes, Bill Clinton liked to cheat on his wife, but other than that, he was a great president, so get off his back, you terrible Christian conservatives. Get away. There was no corroboration during the Kavanaugh episode of accusations by Deborah Ramirez, whose memory wasn't clear. Julie Swetnick, put forward by that clown Michael Avenatti, who's Stormy Daniels' attorney. I think he's a pimp, actually. But Julie Swetnick, she claimed that Brett Kavanaugh had taken part in brutal gang rapes. Turned out to be completely false. Completely false. But with Bill Clinton, we can say confidently that man has been guilty of sexual misconduct over the many years. After he was president, he was spotted at an open market down in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And of course, he was being trailed by photographers. He bought a micro bikini, turned around, showed the photographers his purchase, and winked. That's a guy who is not afraid at all. That's right. I mean, who was Daryl Parnell on Saturday Night Live did that great characterization of Bill Clinton walking over to Newt Gingrich, and I think Newt Gingrich was being played by not Chris Rock. Chris, who died. Anyway, in the Saturday Night Live skit, Daryl Parnell as Bill Clinton walked over to some of his castmates who were portraying Republicans. And he's got a real nice looking girl in each arm. And he walks over to these Republicans and says, "You guys do whatever you want, because I don't give a damn. You ain't going to touch me." That was his attitude. Bill Clinton in 2002 posed at a casino in Monaco. He posed for a picture with not one, not two, but three porn stars. He knew they were porn stars. He didn't care. "You boys vote any way you want. I don't give a damn. You ain't going to touch me." Juanita Broderick accused him of rape. Eileen Wellstone claims she sexually assaulted her in 1969. Carolyn Moffat accused him of sexually assaulting her in 1979. Elizabeth Warden Grayson told friends privately he had sexually assaulted her in 1982. Christy Zurcher was a flight attendant on Clinton's plane in 1992 and claimed he had grabbed her breasts and exposed himself to her. Sandra Allen James claims that Bill Clinton sexually assaulted her during a campaign trip in 1991, and a former Democratic activist, Kathleen Willey, accused him of sexually assaulting her in 1993. Not to mention Paula Jones claimed that he exposed himself to her and said, "Kiss it." Paula Jones said the then governor of Iowa, or not governor of Iowa, the then governor of Arkansas, exposed himself to her and asked her to kiss it. Wow. And Monica Lewinsky, that woman was treated so perversely and cruelly. It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. I bought a book years ago called Uncovering Clinton by Michael Isikoff. Now, Michael Isikoff is not a conservative, but he has documented Bill Clinton's life in this area and how Clinton still to this day lies about it. Clinton still to this day lies about it. Remember, he and that author were he and an author had written a crime novel earlier this year, and they were promoting the book. And somebody from CNN, the Clinton News Network of all networks, asked him about Me Too and if it applied to him. He pretty much denied it. Initially, he had to come back and say, well, you know, I shouldn't have done this. And nah, yuck. Now, as popular as Me Too is among Democrats right now, there's absolutely no possible way for Hillary Clinton to be considered of or to be a supporter of Me Too if she's married to Bill Clinton. Somebody tell me how Hillary Clinton can be a leader of the resistance or a supporter of Me Too married to Bill Clinton. And by the way, what did Hillary Clinton do when these women came forward? She attacked them. She wrote, she harshly condemned them. When allegations of sexual misconduct emerged during Bill's 1992 presidential run, yes, it was happening even then, she was reported to have said, who was going to find out? These women are trash. Nobody's going to believe them. You know, this is kind of her pre-deplorable days, but not really. Let me quote Hillary Clinton again. Who's going to find out? These women are trash. Nobody's going to believe them. Other people said that Hillary Clinton called these women sluts and whores, you know, for daring to be raped. A private investigator named Ivan Duda claims that after Bill lost his second governor's race, Hillary told him, I want you to get rid of all these, well, B word. I want you to get rid of them. I want you to give me the names and addresses and phone numbers, and we can get them under control. That was way back in the early 80s. Yes, when he lost his first re-election campaign as governor of Arkansas. But Brett Kavanaugh is a terrible human being. Terrible human being. Wow. And let's not forget the vast right-wing conspiracy. Let's not forget the vast right-wing conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen, but the allegations against Brett Kavanaugh, oh yes, they feel right. So they must be right. I want to remind you again, finances of caregiving at Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. That's coming up Tuesdays from October 16th to November 13th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Webster County Extension Service at 217 South 25th Street, Fort Dodge. The fee is $35 per person or family. You must register by October 15th. That's Monday. If you have a question, call 515-576-2119 or register at www.extension.iastate.edu Webster. www.extension.iastate.edu/Webster. Some of the topics include organizing needed information. That's a big one. If you had to do something with an elderly relative right now, would you know where any of the information of this person would be? Your loved one? Probably not. Preparing key legal documents, family communication strategies, preserving the caregiver's retirement, seeking available support, resources, comparing caregiving options, and more. Further, I want to remind you that the annual Webster County GOP Chili Supper is happening on Monday. Ken and Jane Rash, excellent host for the Chili Supper, featuring the Republican office holders and candidates, starting at 5:30 at Fort Frenzy. Free will offering. Governor Kim Reynolds will be the keynote speaker. Of course, the Scrapster, Mike Sexton, will be there. Senator Tim Kryenbrink, Ann Meyer, I'm fairly sure, will be here. Mike Naig, the Secretary of Agriculture, who was running for a full term as Secretary of Agriculture. Even if you're not a Republican, it might be a good idea to go find out what they have to say. KVFD Fort Dodge.
Hi, this is Leslie Segretti.
And I'm Tom Kreitler, and you can hear the Money Pit every Saturday afternoon from 4 to 6 on the voice of Fort Dodge, AM 1400.
He's on his way. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. American pastor Andrew Brunson, homeward bound at this hour after being released earlier today in Turkey, where he'd been held on terrorism charges he denied.
He was facing 35 years for terror and espionage charges connected to the 2015 failed coup that took place here. And anyone who knew Pastor Brunson, we've spoken to some, said that was ridiculous. He was a pillar of the Christian community. He was a gentle man, very much respected. And all this time, 2 years, he's been used as a pawn.
Fox's Benjamin Hall in Turkey, where a judge convicted Brunson today before setting him free on time already served.
He suffered greatly, but we're very appreciative to a lot of people.
President Trump moments ago as he arrived in Cincinnati for a rally saying Brunson will visit the Oval Office tomorrow. Brunson's family thanking the Trump administration and a bipartisan group of lawmakers who kept up the pressure on Turkey to release him. The president plans to visit Florida and Georgia next week, and he's pledging help for every state impacted by Hurricane Michael. At least 13 deaths and more than 1 million homes and businesses without power from Virginia to the Florida Panhandle, where some are evacuating now, including hospitals, because it could take weeks to restore power and water service.
Because they can't provide proper care for their patients. Some 3 dozen hospitals and nursing care and assisted care facilities in total across Florida have been evacuated or will be in the next day or two.
Fox's Rick Leventhal in Panama City, where hundreds of cars were in line at one reopened gas station today. A much better day on Wall Street. The Dow up 287. The S&P also gaining more than 1%. The NASDAQ up over 2%, partially rebounding from the major sell-offs the past 2 days. But all three are down for the week. And for the Dow, the worst weekly loss in 6 months. This is Fox News.
To experience relief from muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast and reduce muscle soreness. TheraWorks Relief can also prevent muscle cramps before they start, so you can get a full night's sleep without having to worry about muscle cramps. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is a life-changing product, and you don't even need a prescription. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens pharmacies, or TheraWorksRelief.com.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes,
which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast, smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Pastor Brunson could ease strained U.S. relations with Turkey, just as tensions with Saudi Arabia increase over the disappearance of Washington Post writer Jamal Khashoggi, last seen entering the Saudi consulate in Turkey nearly 2 weeks ago.
The Turkish government believes that he was tortured and killed in the consulate and might have been taken out in pieces. This has now begun to put a pressure campaign on Saudi Arabia to come clean about what may or may not have happened. And that, in turn, because of the big deal that Saudi Arabia just signed last year to buy $110 billion worth of U.S. arms, has put pressure on defense stocks.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House, some in Congress calling for sanctions. President Trump says there are other options. Saudi Arabia, at this point, still denies any involvement. There's a report that Dartmouth College has hired an external investigator to look at over a dozen organizations, including fraternities and sororities, because of a spike in reports of hazing. College officials telling this to the Dartmouth Student newspaper, saying there's been an increase in incident reports during the current fall term. 2 multi-state lottery jackpots get big again.
All you have to do is invest in a couple of $2 lottery tickets for a shot at a total of at least $862 million.
The Mega Millions jackpot has soared to $548 million for tonight's drawing. It's the third largest in the game's history. Maybe 23 will be the charm because there hasn't been a winner in 22 consecutive drawings. The odds are more than 3 million to 1. As of Friday morning, the Powerball drawing has grown to $314 million ahead of Saturday night's drawing. No one has hit the Powerball jackpot since August 11th. The odds are over 292 million to 1.
Fox's Anna Wells and Lisa Brady. And this is Fox News.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. The University of Iowa Mobile Museum is in Fort Dodge this weekend. Terry Cook is on the Fort Museum Board of Directors. He has more information.
12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have the University of Iowa Traveling Museum in Fort Dodge. It'll be at the Opera House or in the Fort parking lot. It's a traveling museum with all different displays in it. It will be open to the public 10 to 5, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. No cost.
A woman has been imprisoned for her role in the slaying of a Des Moines man. Polk County court records say Crystal Purdy was sentenced Thursday to 35 years. She pleaded guilty to burglary and conspiracy to commit a forcible felony after prosecutors dropped a murder charge for the slaying of Cody Channon on January 9th. Her plea deal calls for her to testify against others involved, including William Burton II. He pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Investigators say they suspect Burton, Purdy, and another man who has yet to be charged went to Channon's home to confront him, and then Burton intentionally shot Channon once in the chest. Police say Burton and Purdy told investigators the gun went off during a scuffle. Iowa officials say the teenage son of a man killed in a Huxley house fire has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa Hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions, now in the mall near Riddles Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodgers Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Daytime highs approaching 45 this afternoon under cloudy skies, west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 38 tonight. High temperatures reach up to 57 tomorrow. Cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Low 40s Sunday and Monday with a chance for scattered showers Sunday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Currently, it's 40.
The opinions and remarks expressed on this radio program by the host, guests, and call-in listeners are the opinions of the original source who expressed them. They do not reflect the views of management or ownership of KVFD AM 1400.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
You've heard that freedom isn't free. So what does it take? It takes countless hours away from family and friends. Sometimes it takes the ultimate sacrifice. I'm Merle Bloom from Mike's Pest Control. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all veterans and enlisted men and women, past and present, who have served our country with pride. I'd also like to give acknowledgement to our local, state, and federal law enforcement and EMS officers who serve and protect us with courage and dedication. Thank you for everything you do. Mike's Pest Control, Fort Dodge.
Michael Devine and Nevin Mulholland talking sports on AM 1400 KVFD.
Let my people go. Fear not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
AM 1400 KVFD and Dave Flattery. Totally overrated.
I have to say Dave Flattery is totally overrated. He just can't seem to get to the studio and talk about being a city councilman or sports or anything else. So, yeah, totally overrated. And with me now is the man who gave Dave Flattery that designation, Nevin Mulholland. How you doing, Nevin?
I'm good, Mike.
All right, man. And, of course, Randy Kuhlman's here. We're ready to talk sports. So 515-955-1400, 515-955-1400. If you would like to join the sports program. I already had Marlo on today. I mean,
really?
I had Marlo on and Big Ed both in one afternoon.
Well,
it was huge.
Those are a couple headliners.
Did you get any calls from FCC? Or?
No, that's only when Kevin Crimmins is on here.
Oh.
No, but Marlo was talking about rugby. I didn't even know Iowa Central had a rugby team.
Oh, they had a great rugby team
a year ago.
They clobbered the Hawkeyes.
They clobbered the Hawkeye rugby team. How do you
did last week?
You know, there are people I know who have played rugby. I don't know how to play the game. I don't get the game.
To me, it's very physical.
It's a very physical game. It's where our football came from, English rugby.
But to watch it, to me, it still looks really physical. They say though, because you have no helmets, you have no pads, you don't load up like you might otherwise when you're protected. You know what I mean? You don't hit with the same amount of force but it's physical. I've been to some rugby games. Wow.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I've seen them, and I mean, their guys get elbowed all the time in the face, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Oh, the guys in the line.
Well, last year Iowa Central would have qualified for the national rugby championship, but they weren't allowed to because they were a 2-year school, and it was basically all for universities. And yet Iowa Central was beating all the universities.
Iowa Central, by the way, is going to play in town this weekend. You know, I went to an Iowa Central game earlier this year. I haven't been out to an Iowa Central game for a year or two. Man, that's tough football.
Oh, yeah, football.
Tough football.
Yeah, I was talking about rugby.
No, I know you are. I know you are. I just want to remind everybody to go out and support Iowa Central because they're a tough team, man. They are.
People, I watched them play a couple weeks ago. Again, I can't remember what Kansas team it was. It was a heck of a game, and out at Dodger Stadium. Both teams were, when you looked at their offense and defensive lines, they were both bigger than Iowa State or Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have huge kids
and fast, big, fast.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some kids that I think Iowa Central's got a right tackle that's 6'8", 320.
Yeah,
I mean, huge.
6'8", 320. My God.
Yeah, I mean, big boys.
We get some of the big Des Moines schools here in town, and I can go out and watch them, and then watch an Iowa Central.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Iowa Central. There's no comparison, really.
No.
The teams that Iowa Central plays and the kids that Iowa Central has now. That's a pretty good coach they got out there this year.
Highland, Kansas is who I watched them play. They got beat by like 2 points or something. And Highland's roster was all filled with athletes from Texas, Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida.
Wow.
The whole team. I mean, it was amazing to look at that roster. All these kids are from down south in Southeast Conference territory, you know.
Kids with lousy grades, I suppose, are going to Iowa
evidently. But I'll tell you,
they make themselves eligible for the D1.
Or non-qualifiers. Just,
hey, you know, speaking of that, did you see the article where Ellsworth has a linebacker that's rated the #1 junior college linebacker in the United States?
No, where's he from?
I can't remember where he's from, but he's 6'4", 240. They say he's fast, and everybody's after him. Well, a lot of big name programs, including Iowa State, but even other Power 5 schools are after this guy. He said he's the #1 rated linebacker in the country.
Who's the leader to get him?
You know, it was in the paper the other day. I don't know if they listed a leader. They just listed about 7 or 8 schools. But
right.
They say he's a big timer at Ellsworth.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, it was a transfer in from somewhere, if I remember right. He transferred in from some other major power school, but
I know we're going to talk football. We're at that time of year we can talk football, basketball, and baseball. And I'm not going to talk about the Cubs because I'm kind of over it.
Well,
but I do want to congratulate the Boston Red Sox. Man, I watched them play. I tuned into them when they were playing the Yankees. Yankees didn't have a good series, but they're a good team, major hitters. The Red Sox are a terrific team. Yeah. They are a terrific team. I want to see them play the Astros.
They got their hands full with the Astros.
They do, because the Astros are a tough team, and they're ready. And they got swagger, man.
They're fun.
Yeah, they got swagger, and they're ready to play the Red Sox, too.
They're under the radar, the Astros are, because we don't get them on TV very often and stuff around here.
We don't.
And they're anywhere in the country, but they got a funky ballpark. It really is kind of a cool ballpark, I think. And they got a great team. I mean, they do have swagger. They got, they just got a little get up and go to their step.
They do, and they're very confident, and they got a lot of talent. A lot of talent. The Red Sox have a lot of talent as well. They don't quite have the swagger, but they're more of the reserve Boston types. I don't know, but they have determination.
I think the four best teams.
110 games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got to have swagger to win 110 games. But the middle of their linebacker, they have like 5 hitters in there that are right at either above or right at that 300 mark.
I think the 4 best teams in baseball are the 4 final teams right now.
Yeah,
I do. Listen, you talk about the American League. The Brewers, I swear to God, I've said it the last half of the season, I think they've been the best team in the National League.
I think you're right in the National League, but I don't think they're the best team in baseball.
I'm not saying that.
I know you're not.
The American League, yeah.
I know. I think the best 2 teams in baseball are the Astros and in Boston. I mean,
wouldn't argue with you. I thought the American League's had the edge all year when it comes to the best teams in baseball, and I think if I was to rate them right now, I'd agree with you. The top 2 are those 2.
Yeah, well, I don't see. I frankly don't see the Dodgers in the league with the other 3 teams. With the Brewers, they're a good team. You know, I'm a big Clayton Kershaw fan.
I know you are.
But I do not really see them in the same league as the Red Sox, the Astros, or even the Brewers.
I think the Brewers Dodgers pretty even, man.
Why do you think that?
Well,
the Brewers are peaking right at the right time.
So are the Dodgers.
You think so?
Yes, the Dodgers have been playing very well. Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty even. You know, I love the Brewers bullpen. I just think once you get in, once they turn it over to their pen, they're awful doggone good.
Yeah.
I love Yelich. I think he's the most valuable player in the National League. I think he really is. The Dodgers, though, their starting pitching.
Their starting pitching is good. Here's what I think. I think the Brewers have bigger bats and pitching equal to the Dodgers, even though they have Kershaw over on the Dodgers side.
I mean, I think they're just pretty doggone even.
Yeah, well, we'll see. The first game is tonight between the Brewers and the Dodgers. I don't know when the first game between the.
Where is it in L.A.?
Here I'm going to have to look on. We're going to have to look on my app now.
No, we got.
You got the newspapers. Okay,
we can just figure this out real quick.
It's at Milwaukee.
It's at Milwaukee. Okay.
Oh, I like that. I think that favors your.
Are you pulling for the Brewers in the National League championship? You are. Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull for the Brewers.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right.
I
small
like
market team. I always pulled for the small market team.
Yeah, well,
I hate to be pulling for a team that beat my team.
Yeah, that's right. AM 1400 KVFD. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey,
is this Steve?
Your LA homeboy here.
LA homeboy.
You're talking a little smack on my dog.
No.
Did your older sister downstairs rat us out or what? By the way, this is Steve from Los Angeles. He was in high school with Nevin. A longtime friend of Nevin's, and he contributes every now and then. I would like to see the Dodgers win. I'm kind of picking them. Nevin's going the other way, even though the Brewers took out our Cubs. So what do you're going to tell me that the Dodgers are going to beat the Brewers, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I gotta go with my homeboys here. Yes, I mean.
We're your homeboys. We're back in your hometown here.
I agree with Nevin. I think, the Dodgers aren't overpowering or anything. I agree with Nevin. It's pretty, obviously both have strengths and weaknesses. And I think they can kind of counteract each other. But I do like the Dodge, like Nevin or somebody said, starting pitching.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, I just want to add, I don't know if you knew this or not, but you can watch us on YouTube. Go to 1400 AM, go to 1400 KVFD on YouTube. There's a crystal clear picture there with better volume, way better than Ustream ever used to be. I don't know if you knew that or not, or Barb told you.
I didn't know it.
Oh yeah,
it's actually working.
Oh, it's yes. As a matter of fact, go to that site on YouTube, 1400 KVFD. There's all my videos recently.
Okay,
and they're it's and they're very quality videos, very
good,
high quality videos. Anyway, I just wanted to. I know you kind of were disappointed and bummed a little bit when we didn't have Ustream there for a while, so you couldn't watch from out there, Steve. But we got it fixed anyway.
Nice going. Good job, man. Yeah, I was ready to get something going, viral on the internet, because we got to see you. And I am on YouTube right now, believe it or not, as we speak.
Okay,
cool.
You gotta get, well, I guess I'll keep using it, wear this out. My homeboy, Nevin, I can see his hands and his right leg. You gotta.
I don't even know where the camera is.
It's up there. See it? There, you see it. Oh, there's Nevin. Yeah, we got a full shot of Coolman. You can see my.
Nice.
You can see me in my stomach really well.
Well, Cooley's our face man.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. He is the face guy. Yeah.
Through that.
Yeah.
Through that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So what are you thinking over there, Randy? As far as baseball and the World Series are concerned, I know I know you're not a big baseball guy.
Well, no, I think it. I always look at what team is hot at the end of the year, and I haven't watched the Dodgers very much. The Brewers got real hot at the end of the year and overtook the Cubs, but I agree with what I said earlier. I think the two best teams are in the American League this year, in my opinion.
What do you think about that, Steve?
The two best teams are in the American League.
Houston and Boston.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I guess you'd have to say so, but man, I would like to, but I would agree. But baseball's like that. Like you say, if you get hot at the right time, how many wild cards have made it to won the World Series? I think there's been quite a few.
There certainly has been some, and baseball, it's not a one and doneer. It's a 7-game series, man.
Yeah.
And wow. A lot of stuff can happen.
A lot of stuff can happen. I would like to see Boston in the World Series, but I'm not making a bet. The Astros are tough. I think they're a tough team, and they want to win. They expect to win, and that means a lot. And they have the talent to win. Again, I'd like to see Boston in the series, but I don't know, man. I
agree. I honestly, I think Houston's going to get them.
Yeah, I think so too. We got to. Steve, hang tight now. We're gonna talk about local sports here.
Go ahead.
Because the Fort Dodge Dodgers are taking on Sioux City West tonight. The Sioux City West Wolverines, and let's not forget the Sioux City West Wolverines have lost their last 4 games, and they lost last week to Southeast Polk 77-6.
Oh wow! I did not know that score.
77-6.
Yeah. Things are not looking good for the Wolverines.
No, they are not looking good.
We might hang 100 on them tonight.
Yeah. Because
that's good in football. I'll tell you.
Oh, absolutely. The Dodgers are. If the Dodgers have 2 games left, I think the last game was with Marshalltown.
Yeah,
and they should win that one too. 7-2 is a great record, and that'll get them a home game in the playoff against a playoff team that's not ranked as high as they are. So
that will get them a home game for sure.
That's what the messenger said.
RPI? Okay.
Yeah, and so it's important for them to win these last 2, because then you hate to go into the playoffs and have to play a number 1 seed, so to speak.
On the road.
On the road as well, exactly. And so, even though they're going to be heavily favored, it's still important they go out and play good, hard-nosed Dodger football and pull out 2 victories, because that's going to be critical for the playoffs.
I'll tell you, I used to like to watch Randy Reiners when he was a Dodger back in the mid-'90s. He was a great scrambling quarterback. I thought at the time the best quarterback that the Dodgers ever produced. I've changed. Young Miller, Drake Miller, is the best Dodger quarterback I've ever seen. I just want to bring this up. Drew Brees is 39 years old and he's barely 5'10". He might not even be 5'10".
He's 5'10".
But he's not a Ben Roethlisberger by any stretch.
No, he's not. I don't know if he's 6 foot, but he's 5'10".
Oh no, he's probably 5, maybe 5'10". But he is the leading passer in the history of the National Football League.
Right.
He went over the mark. He took out a couple of guys named Manning and Favre on Monday night. And he is not a tall, big man, but he's a tough competitor. And that's supposedly the knock on Miller is he's not that tall. But man, that kid's got a soft touch and an accurate arm.
Yeah.
Man, he's good.
He's a great high school quarterback, and he owns all the Dodger records now.
Yeah.
And I think he leads the state in passing. And
that can only improve tonight, I have a feeling.
Right.
You're right. We may hang.
wonder if they'll call the dogs off or not.
Well,
a little bit.
I thought we still had the 50-point rule.
35.
Well, what happened then with the 77-6 shellacking? That
it's a continuous clock after a 30-point
in the second half.
In the second half.
Oh, they don't stop the game.
They do not.
Okay,
I
think they kind of should. But
well, they want kids to be able to play. Your substitutes.
Well, okay, I get
backups.
that. I remember several years ago the Dodgers 50-pointed Des Moines North, and there were fights on the field. And kids were duking out the Dodgers.
The Dodgers had 55 points on Roosevelt a couple of weeks ago here at Dodger Stadium, and it was 55-0 at halftime. And then of course the second half you got the running clock and
after 35 points.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean in the second half only. So
after a 35-point spread in the second
half.
Oh, I see.
So you play a full first half, no matter what the score is.
All right. Okay.
And they. So probably Southeast Polk probably put 60 points up in the first half against West.
It could have been. So what would happen in the case you just laid out? 50-point lead at the half.
Mm-hmm.
The second half starts. They're up 50. Does the clock just continue then?
Then it's a continued clock.
Okay, they don't have
whole second
to
half.
play 5 minutes or anything like that.
No.
The St. Edmund Gales are taking on Altus Aurelia tonight in town. The Gales
upset if the Gales won.
It would be an upset if the Gales won. And I watched the kids. Well, they practice right across the street, and I've been out to a couple of Gales games, and I might run out tonight if I can get out my winter parka. But I might run out tonight. Those kids are really, really playing hard. They just don't have the size. We don't have
depth.
We don't have that.
Numbers.
But they are really giving it 100%. I wish they had a better record than they did.
I think Coach Dillon's done a nice job.
I think so.
I think he really has. I mean, they've been competitive most of these games with few numbers, and
they've had to play some really tough teams too. I mean they're ranked teams. It's not the division they're in is a tough one. So it's not like
it is a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know about these Altus Aurelia kids. I went over years ago to call it a game with Altus Aurelia. And who else? I can't remember. But they were a respected team then. But that was 25 years ago, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know where they're at now or
5-2.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were.
I have the Iowa School Prep app here.
5-2.
5-2.
Yeah.
All right. So good luck for the Gales tonight. They're in town. Dodgers again are in Sioux City. You'll hear the Dodger game at Classic Hits 92.1 FM frequency 92.1, and of course the Gales will be heard on Sunny 99.7. That's on the FM dial 99.7. Nevin Mulholland will not be calling the game. No. You're not going to do it anymore, Nev.
No, I'm
not going to do. You're
retired.
retired. You're retired all the way. Well, we got some good people on both stations anyway, on both the Dodgers games and on the Gales games.
Yeah.
Several years ago, I heard a young announcer was doing a Gales game, said he had the ball on the 51-yard line. I nearly
Kirk Young.
I nearly drove out to the radio station and attacked. We're going to take a break. Steve, you still there?
Yes, I am.
All
I'll
right.
let you guys take a break. Thanks for taking my call. And,
No.
One little Drew Brees story. They were practicing out here when he was with San Diego Chargers.
Yep.
And he was coming off the field, and I stood right next to him, and I swear, like you say, I would never know he was a professional football player. He just looked just like a regular size,
Yeah.
So he's truly accomplished a lot. But
he really has.
Thank you.
No,
Thanks for getting them. And Anyway, have a good weekend.
Yeah, I really appreciate. This is our West Coast correspondent on the sports show, Steve Booth. Call back if you want, Steve. This is AM 1400 KVFD.
Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, where Fort Dodge talk.
Please meet Katie. Katie says she needs to tell her fiance the truth before their baby is born. Katie, what's going on?
Well, I'm 4 months pregnant, Jerry, and I've been cheating on him with another woman.
Well, at least we know whose baby it is.
She's my roommate, and he treats me bad and fights me because I won't have sex with him. I'm going through a lot with my pregnancy, hormonal changes. Me and her were just sitting there one night, and I was curious, and we just started talking. I knew she'd been with other women, and I need a woman in my life. I'm so sick of men. I'm tired of them.
Michael Devine, the mayor of Manville.
It's a fancy title for a part-time job.
Michael Devine at AM 1400 KVFD.
What do you think? Anybody goes to the Jerry Springer show and appears on camera as a Democrat? What do you think? Coolman will probably agree with me. We'll come back and see if Mulholland does here in a couple of minutes. Exactly 4:30, 42 degrees. This is AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. We're talking sports. We will be back.
First impressions are everything. What kind of first impression are people getting when they walk into your business? Are the carpets clean and the floors shiny? Or do they look like they haven't been cleaned in months or even years? Make a good first impression with the help of Flat Out Clean Janitorial Services. They'll come to your business and clean everything from the floor to the ceiling. They'll even travel within a 30-mile radius of Fort Dodge. For a free estimate, find them on Facebook or call 570-9672. Flat Out Clean Janitorial Services, Fort Dodge.
Loffersweiler Funeral Home is pleased to announce the addition of our crematory. I'm Luke Loffersweiler. The addition of our on-site crematory is another example of how we consistently exceed expectations and deliver a standard of service that is 100% guaranteed. At Loffersweilers, we're honored to give your family our assistance and expertise, taking care of even the smallest details before, during, and after the funeral, so you can begin the healing process. We're Loffersweiler Funeral Home, Fort Dodge, a trusted friend of the family for over 160 years.
Your vehicle running at its best, keep up with routine maintenance. The certified service techs at Humboldt Motor Sales make maintaining your vehicle easy. They offer convenient hours and competitive prices on all service and parts. And they take care of your GM warranty needs too. From oil changes to tires, brakes to batteries, engine repair and transmission repair, Humboldt Motor Sales can handle it all. Have your vehicle serviced soon at Humboldt Motor Sales. Log on to HumboldtGM.com to schedule an appointment now or call 800-566-8671.
Hi, I'm Michael Devine with Divine Intervention at AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. From 2 to 5, Monday through Friday, I'll be on the air talking local issues, local politics, local concerns. The only way this works, once again, is to have you join the conversation by calling 515-955-1400. Afternoons, 2 to 5, Divine Intervention. Please join the conversation. And I want to thank Alpha Media for allowing this program on the air in a town the size of Fort Dodge.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. The University of Iowa Mobile Museum is in Fort Dodge this weekend. Terry Cook is on the Fort Museum Board of Directors. He has more information.
12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have the University of Iowa Traveling Museum in Fort Dodge. It'll be at the Opera House or in the Fort parking lot. It's a traveling museum with all different displays in it. It will be open to the public 10 to 5, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. No cost.
A woman has been imprisoned for her role in the slaying of a Des Moines man. Polk County court records say Crystal Purdy was sentenced Thursday to 35 years. She pleaded guilty to burglary and conspiracy to commit a forcible felony after prosecutors dropped a murder charge for the slaying of Cody Channon on January 9th. Her plea deal calls for her to testify against others involved, including William Burton II. He pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Investigators say they suspect Burton, Purdy, and another man who has yet to be charged went to Channon's home to confront him, and then Burton intentionally shot Channon once in the chest. Police say Burton and Purdy told investigators the gun went off during a scuffle. Iowa officials say the teenage son of a man killed in a Huxley house fire has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa Hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions is now in the mall near Riddle's Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodger Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Fox Business Network, another wild day on Wall Street with stocks clawing back after suffering a two-day 1,300-point plus sell-off. The major averages having their worst week since March 23rd as investors are worried over rising interest rates, a possible economic slowdown, and increasing trade tensions. Among the Dow leaders today, consumer tech companies, which have been battered of late, the Dow closing up 287 points, the Nasdaq having its biggest one-day gain since the end of March, closing up 168, S&P 500 up 39. And several big banks kicking off the third quarter earnings season. JP Morgan Chase reporting that its profits rose by 24% from a year ago, helped by a lower tax bill and higher interest rates, which allowed it to charge more for loans to consumers and businesses alike. That was enough to make up for a less than stellar quarter in its trading business. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Julie Varsity.
The worst commercial ever.
Say, Jan, as a fellow respected small business professional, I wonder, who do you use for commercial auto and business insurance?
Progressive, of course. They helped with a customized insurance solution for my busy florist company.
I'm so glad we had this chance encounter in this busy restaurant.
Yes, that conversation was brutal. Whereas commercial auto and business insurance through Progressive is anything but. Visit progressivecommercial.com to quote today. Insurance provided and serviced by Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. It's affiliated and third-party insurers.
Elvis is back. And this time he's bringing his friend Johnny Cash with him.
I hear the train coming.
Alpha Media presents the Elvis and Johnny Tribute with Joseph Hall and Paul Eve. Friday night, November 2nd in the Cardiff Center at Fort Frenzy.
Every time I hear newborn baby cry, because you're mine, I'll walk the line.
Doors open at 5:30 and the Elvis and Johnny Tribute starts at 7. Tickets are $25 in advance or $30 at the door. Get them now at Hy-Vee Fort Dodge, the Iowa Outdoor Store, or Fort Frenzy. Bring the whole family to see this tribute to the king of rock and roll and the man in black as Joseph Hall and Paul Eve present the Elvis and Johnny Tribute. Friday night, November 2nd at Fort Frenzy. Brought to you in part by Riley Armstrong Plumbing and Heating, J&M Construction in Bode, Cactus Family Farms, the Iowa Outdoor Store, and United Bank of Iowa in Fort Dodge, Rockwell City, and Pocahontas. The Elvis and Johnny Tribute is an Alpha Media event.
Domestic violence thrives in silence, but if we take a stand and work together, we can end domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and purple is the color of domestic violence awareness. Let everyone know you are paying attention and taking action to end domestic violence by wearing purple this month. You can also help break the silence by coming to the Candlelight Vigil Thursday night, October 18th at 6 p.m. at St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Fort Dodge. Please join DSOC in the fight to end domestic violence.
So you're a winner on KVFD. Congratulations. Here's a few things you need to know. Prizes and gifts awarded to listeners are provided for promotional consideration. Winners are limited to one per household. Winners must give their own legal name. Callers are sometimes taped for later broadcast. We reserve the right to refuse prizes if rules are broken. All prizes must be picked up within 10 days. We are not responsible for taxes or fees associated with prizes won. Winners may be required to show ID. Got it? Good. Thanks for listening to the station that made you what you are today. A winner, KVFD.
Michael Devine and Nevin Mulholland talking sports on AM 1400 KVFD.
Let my people go. Fear not. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
AM 1400 KVFD and Dave Flattery. Totally overrated.
Well, Dave Flattery not here again today, so yeah, he's totally overrated. We're talking sports with Nevin Mulholland and Randy Coolman at AM 1400 KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. Please join the program by calling 515-955-1400. We've decided now that the Fort Dodge Dodger game against Sioux City West tonight's in the bag. And did we make a prediction as far as the Gales or not? Or do we think?
I hate to pick against St. Ed's, but I kind of like all.
So we'll just reserve judgment on St. Ed's.
Right, fair enough.
Do you want to make a call on the Humboldt game there, Randy? You mentioned something about who's Carroll's playing in Humboldt tonight.
I believe
do you stay in touch with the football scene at Humboldt?
I don't. But since they didn't retire my jersey, I said the heck with them. But no, I'm just
yeah, that's kind of a blow. Of all people in the world, here's Marlo Brandehorst calls me up a little earlier today and said, "Hey, is that Divine kid who's really good up for the Algona Bulldogs? Is he a relative of yours?" And I said, "Yeah, our grandfathers were first cousins, so not real close, close." My dad and his grandfather. There we go. Okay.
Carroll is pretty not bad guy. They played the Dodgers this year and gave the Dodgers a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that's Carroll Public, right?
Right, and that's who Humboldt's playing, and I think that so Carroll's pretty good.
Yeah,
and so I think that'll be a tough game for the Wildcats. But
well, all right, Humboldt's had a good team off and on over the years. So I guess since you're here, Randy, we're going to have to play or talk basketball here. So what's it look like here? How's the season shaping up?
Well,
college wise,
they're all they're still in their preseason practices, but everybody's undefeated, so they all think they're going to be really good.
So we thought about the Hawks last year, didn't we, Randy? We wound up crying every Friday.
Yeah.
I really missed that one.
Yeah.
You missed what now?
I liked the Hawks last year. I was saying they were going to be the surprise of the Big Ten.
A lot of people were. Yeah.
I really thought this was a team that would go a long way, but the Fran factor worked its way in. I mean,
the Fran
factor. Yeah, and I'm usually not one to criticize coaches too much, but there's something. This year they better be good.
Yeah, they've got, first of all, last year he tried to play 11 players. You just can't do that.
They're all back, Randy.
I know it. A couple of them did transfer, but
yeah, but he also picked up a couple fresh.
Yeah, he's got the Weiskamp kid.
Weiskamp's got.
He's going to start, I think. But
is he really?
That's what they say.
Wow.
You just can't play that many people. I mean, you never develop a rhythm, a chemistry when you do that. I'm surprised Fran even tried it. He's an experienced coach, and I've never known of a coach that can say I can play 11 players.
He's done that for years down at Iowa, though. Yeah. It wasn't only last year. Guys come and go. You'll see a guy playing a lot. Next thing you're putting his picture on a milk carton, saying this kid's missing in action.
Yeah.
Where is he? Yeah, he will. They'll just disappear. They might not even play for a couple games then.
Yeah.
I don't get
it. It's one of those things where if I miss my first two shots and all of a sudden I'm out and somebody else is in, and you can't develop any confidence that way. I mean, I thought that was a huge mistake on his part. But, sometimes when a team gets low on their depth, it can almost be a positive thing because the six players that are playing know, hey, no matter what happens, I'm going to be playing. And they start playing with more confidence. So, but
the right number's
probably 8,
7 or 8.
Yeah,
8's pushing it. 8 is okay.
Yeah.
But I totally agree. Geez, you can't play 11 or 12, and that was just part of it. I know, and you couldn't even figure out his substitution pattern. I can watch good teams, and I can predict. I know who's coming in, when they're coming in, when they're going out. I mean, it's just
But it's
we talked about that a little bit last year. We never knew what he was doing with his substitutes.
Well, and it's a guards game, a college game with the 3-point rule is a guards game, and we, Iowa's still missing that true good point guard. Bohannon's a very nice player, but he's really a 2 guard, and we have to play him at point because we don't have anybody else. And when you're not strong at guard position, you're going to have a tough time having a successful year.
Well, and point guard's really important.
Yeah, it's like a quarterback.
It's like a quarterback in the football team. And there's, again, like quarterback, there's not a lot of good ones around that really do know how to handle the ball, how to create and just understand the pace of the game and where things need to go. And Iowa is, and I love Bohannon's stroke. It's a beautiful stroke. It's pure. He'd be a great 2 guard.
Yep.
And what Iowa recruits all the same guys. They recruit tall, long forwards and no point guards. They still aren't. I know why. We've talked. I mean, I think he's setting it up for his kid. Yeah, I really do. I think he wants to feature his son at point guard. We'll see.
Do you remember Bob Cummings? How did that work out for poor Bob when he was the University of Iowa football coach back in the late 70s? Oh, they treated that man terribly. I mean, he put his kid in a quarterback and he went 0-11 or something. They were leaving big bags of flaming dog dung on his front steps. It was just awful.
Well, how about Iowa State basketball?
All right.
They look good.
Bring it. They looking good.
Prom's recruited really well.
Yeah, he's got
and he does have guards.
He's got guards.
He has actual guards.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's got this Jacobson kid that he picked up from Nebraska, the kid from Waukee, Iowa. I mean, he's going to really help him inside. I think. I
still think he's a role player. I mean, I don't think he'll start.
Well, you only play with one basketball. You don't need,
I'm not saying that,
but
he'll go rebound.
He'll rebound and play defense for you.
Kind of guards. Yeah, he should.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's a big deal, a big get. I think that Taylor Horton Tucker or whatever.
Well, the guy that's really talented is, the Lard kid is really a player. It'll be interesting to see how he went through that, whatever camp he went to get his act together, I guess. But if he came back from that and is really working hard, this kid's one heck of an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Lard.
Yeah, he's good. And Winnington, if
they've got all
improves,
the pieces.
Yeah. I mean, he was good last year. He had a nice year. Hopefully, if he makes the next step, look out.
Yeah, they'll be. I mean, and they're tough to beat at Hilton. That crowd is great, and
great.
The crowd is
it's
great.
A tough place. One of the toughest places in America.
Gorgeous venue. I still think it's just one of the has stood the test.
It really has.
From the exterior, the interior, it really is. I got to hand it to them. That's a great venue.
Yeah, I like to go down to a couple games a year at least. I mean, I can usually a Sunday afternoon game. I can take my buddy down there. You and I have talked about him several times. That you traumatized for life. But Randy threw a touchdown pass over my head and then he scored a touchdown. It was like 50 years ago.
Oh man,
like 50 years ago.
They didn't even have face masks back then. Leather helmets, no mask. When Randy and you.
Oh yeah, you weren't that far behind us there, big.
1 year.
1 year, yeah. Come on, man. Come on.
True.
Just to change subjects though, because I think it's going to be a fun weekend of college football too. Iowa State, huge game in Ames Saturday night against West Virginia that comes in ranked. I think
tough team,
ranked 6th in the country. I think, and I was surprised to look at their stats and found out that West Virginia is leading the Big 12 in defense. You always hear about their offense because they've got the great quarterback and that say might be the best quarterback in the country and yet their defense is ranked number 1 in the Big 12 right now. So,
who would have thought that Iowa State would be having quarterback troubles this year? When Kempt decided to stay another year, I thought, well, that's solved right there.
Yeah.
But they're on their 3rd quarterback of the season.
Yeah, but this 3rd one, it looks awful good.
He does, doesn't he?
The second one didn't look bad.
No, he didn't. No. He didn't look bad at all.
But you know what? If Purdy comes in, has a great game, and you've never even heard Zev Nolan. You haven't even heard his name mentioned again. It's
Right.
it's almost like they just booted him off the team. I mean, I felt sorry for the kid.
Yeah.
You know, but Purdy was so effective against what was it, Oklahoma State? Yeah.
Yes.
And man, he looked impressive for a true freshman. And now I know
for a
why.
true freshman, he was outstanding.
Now I know why they said Alabama was interested in this kid.
Yeah.
Now we find out
And
why.
A&M.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was a great recruit.
Great recruit.
And
I'm gonna get a kid out of Arizona to come to Ames, Iowa.
yeah, it's
pretty impressive.
crazy. But I'm going to tell you right now, this whole deal, Iowa State beating West Virginia, I think everybody's delusional. I mean,
I don't think that's going to happen. No,
Well, you know,
I've seen West Virginia play this year. They're tough. They're really tough.
well, my boy Michael Payne, Jim Bird, all the Johnsons.
These are your experts.
Everybody.
These are your go-to
Wouldn't
guys.
you think somebody would pick West Virginia? Every one of those guys picked Iowa State. I go, really, Michael? What?
That's because they're businessmen. They don't want to
I
hurt their
know,
business.
That's true. That's what kind of what I heard. They
yeah.
get upset if you pick against Iowa State. I don't need all the grief. I can't lose business.
Why aren't the three of us being asked to be on Casey Johnson's weekly football pool out there? You know, they pass us by every single week. And who do they get in there? Some restaurant owner or some doggone thing. Let's ask him how he feels about this.
I think he doesn't ask us because he listens to this program.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
We need to Photoshop hair on Michael Payne's head. We got to clean him up.
I don't think we can do it. I don't think it's going to work out at all.
I think it's going to be a heck of a game tomorrow night. I really
do too. But
the crowd will be
it's
jacked
night
up.
game, and everybody's so excited based upon Purdy's performance at Oklahoma State, and it was a big win.
Yeah, that was huge
mean,
for
Iowa
them.
State needed that. Now I get all that, but boy, to beat West Virginia, I think they're only a 6-point favorite.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that right?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They're
everybody's
only a 6-point favorite. Is that all West Virginia?
Yeah.
It's not. But it'll be cooking tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It'll be
fun. It'll be a fun environment.
I guess Jim and Mike do have a point. How many West Virginia fans going to the restaurants? Probably not a lot
How
of
many
them.
West Virginia fans are buying cars out there?
Yeah.
Adam Casey. See? Yeah.
Well, that's no excuse not for having us on. I swear to God, we'd be in there picking heavily. Anyway, where are the Hawkeyes going this
Well,
weekend?
Upset City right there.
They're going to Upset City,
Indiana.
Yeah,
I am
Indiana.
upset alert. I think.
I didn't realize Indiana's 4-2. I mean,
Well, it may not be an upset then if they're playing well, but
Well,
Indiana has not played well in years.
But they got rolled last week by Ohio State, but they're a nice team.
Yeah.
And they usually spread it out. Now I haven't watched them this year, but no, they're
and they hung with Ohio State for a while.
Yeah.
They did in the first half. But yeah, it'll be a tough game for the Hawks, and the Hawks still their defense is beat up, and 2 of their starting linebackers are out, 2 of their defensive backs are out. Now, I think a couple of them might be scheduled to come back this week. So
the cornerbacks
that'll help.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting. The Hawks got to bring their A game down there to Bloomington, or they'll get beat. There's no question about that.
They got their hands full. That's what I'll tell you.
Well, Indiana hasn't beat us in a long time. Indiana.
You know what? I thought
don't
they
know.
beat us a couple years ago.
They had Jordan Howard, that running back. So now the Bears running back for him was, a couple of years ago. I think they beat us down there at Bloomington.
I don't remember
those
that.
Bears.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bears.
Team, the Bears.
We're leading the North Division.
Actually, this will be a real interesting game. Don't they play Miami?
Yeah, they
down
play the
here?
Dolphins. Yeah,
They
in
go down to
Miami.
South Beach. Well, they get all goofy down there. So.
Yeah.
This will be a test. I tell you, this is an interesting game for the Bears.
It is, but I'll tell you why I feel good about it. The Bears have a good defense, but I love the new offense that they got in under their new coach Nagy. I mean, wow. He's running a wide open type of style of offense,
Right.
which the Bears have never used in their in not only recent memory in the history
Since
at
Abe
all.
Gibran was
Since
coaching.
Abe might have been more creative than we've had before, but
I don't
this
think
Nagy
so.
is
Abe used to- that was a joke, son.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Remember?
I never thought I'd say this, but Baker Mayfield. Wow, man, what I mean,
He's been fun.
He's been
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
I mean, the Browns have actually won a couple of games, and
Yeah.
they have optimism. I mean, they may have a decent season for the Browns.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
their defense isn't bad, and their Mayfield has been respectable.
You know, he kind of reminds me. I mean, in some ways, like Drew Brees.
Yes. Well,
he's
'cause
same
of
size,
stature, yeah.
same size as Brees, and got great vision over the field. Drew Brees always finds the open receiver. You never see him throwing into coverage, very rarely. And it just seems to me that Baker Mayfield has that same vision, which is huge. It's, you know, as a quarterback, because so many quarterbacks lock in on, especially at the college level, lock in on that primary receiver. So yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, that's why he's the Heisman Trophy winner last year. But you know, it's funny, Mike, because I don't know if you knew this or not, but you know, Oklahoma got beat by Texas last week.
Yeah, I did.
And they fired the defensive coordinator the
Did
next
they
day.
really? I did not know that.
Yeah, Mike
part.
Stoops got fired the next day because they gave up, what was it, 47 points, 41
That's
points,
a lot,
whatever it
yeah.
was. Yeah.
You know, but Oklahoma's defense has not been good for years, and Stoops has been the defensive coordinator.
Mhm.
You know, and with the athletes they get down there, you do kind of scratch your head. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I really do get it. They have not performed well, and that's been their problem. It hasn't been their offense,
Right. Oh,
it's
their
been they
offense
give
has
up
been
when they
terrific.
get beat. They're giving up too many points.
Speaking of performing poorly, anybody see the Giants game last night? Eli Manning, probably time for him to retire, isn't it? I don't know. He's 37 years old.
But Mike, did he get any time to throw?
No, he didn't. No, he
Okay.
didn't. But he is 37 years old, and he looks slow and disinterested.
He does look a
frankly.
little slow. You're right.
Yeah,
I was
mean-
saying that today at lunch. He just today's NFL, you've got to be able to get out of that pocket. And Aaron Rodgers, you know, or look at the Mahomes kid from Kansas City. He gets out, and then you
That
extend.
kid is ridiculous. I look forward to, you know, I've kind of backed away from NFL football a little bit because they keep kneeling on me. But I have
Oh,
tuned
for
in,
God's
I have tuned into Kansas. Back off, liberal. I have tuned into Kansas City to watch Mahomes. I
Yeah.
mean,
he can throw on the run, and I mean, the running quarterbacks that can get out of the pocket, extend plays, that gives receivers a chance to get open. They make plays down the field. That's the NFL today. And if you've got people sitting back, the only guy that can still do that effectively and win is Brady. But
Well, Roethlisberger does it.
yeah,
I mean,
but Pittsburgh, I mean, he gets killed every game. Roethlisberger does. I mean, it's a good thing he weighs 260 pounds, or he wouldn't be able to stand up. I mean, he just gets he gets hammered.
Oh, man.
And that's the problem with Manning. He just doesn't have the mobility, and he's getting killed back there. And let's face it, whether it's college or NFL, if you don't have a good offensive line in front of you, you're not going to look good. And quite honestly, it's amazing how good Barkley was last night, despite not a good offensive line. I mean,
man, he is impressive.
Yeah.
We were talking today. He made a 10-yard run. It was one of the best runs I've ever
broke
seen.
about 5
Yeah,
tackles.
for 10 yards.
he is ridiculous. He is,
He's really.
And he's a great receiver too.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, not a big Penn State fan. Saquon Barkley last year beat Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
He embarrassed us,
yeah.
yeah.
He did. I mean, if it wasn't for him, Iowa would have taken Penn State, but that's not what
Oh,
happened.
we still had him beat.
That's
All we got to do is knock down a pass in the end zone. We
We
win.
missed it by a half an inch.
Yeah,
Really, we did. That's exactly
I
what
thought
happened.
That was remarkable that Iowa State in that game because
Yeah.
Barkley was terrific. Yet we kept him out of the end zone
Yeah.
somehow. I just
We had him shut down pretty good. I mean,
I
you're
don't
not
know
going to
about
shut him.
that.
Well, come on, man.
Yeah,
You're not-
250
you're-
yards.
Yeah,
rushing.
Mike.
Did he have that many?
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy,
God.
it was
Yeah,
remarkable that we're in the game.
People thought he'd won the Heisman that night, you know, after that game. But
I
that was
would've
the,
voted for
that
him.
was the game where he hurdled the Hawkeye, you know, the quarterback.
he
you know,
did,
remember
yeah.
that?
Great.
Yeah,
What a great
that was a
move.
highlight film all year long.
Yeah.
By the way, Iowa, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the University of Indiana. Iowa has won 44 games to 28 for Indiana, and there have been 4 ties over the years. We have a 2-year win streak.
I didn't think we. Yeah. So
two-year win streak over Indiana going right now, and
so that makes.
So what about your boy there? You've been a big Stanley guy since he started playing football at Iowa. You're still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I mean, I'm a little disappointed. His year hasn't been. I thought he'd be better this year. I really did. He still gets a little tight. I think during the game.
Do you think it's the coaching? Do you think it's? You don't think so?
No. I just, I'll watch this guy overshooter, miss a couple receivers wide open, then I'll see him drop one in.
Yeah.
That is remarkable.
It's a consistency
Yeah,
issue.
he's just
and
inconsistent.
Then he made an
Minnesota.
absolutely horrible bonehead play against Minnesota.
That was
where he threw that interception.
that was horrible.
That was a head scratcher.
Yeah, that was.
But
I'm still with him. I like him. And
but he actually had a very good game against Minnesota, other than a couple of bad decisions. Other than that, he had a very good game.
Yeah, that was a kid mistake he made against Minnesota.
But it's encouraging that they were getting the ball out to the wideouts. That's important.
Yeah. Okay, we've been talking with Nevin Mulholland and Randy Coolman. Thank you, guys. We've been talking sports. 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Have a great weekend. This is KVFD in Fort Dodge, Iowa.
On his way home, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Andrew Brunson, the American pastor held in Turkey on terrorism charges, freed earlier today, heading back to the U.S. and a meeting with President Trump. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, President Trump said North Carolina pastor Andrew Brunson was in the air this afternoon, that he'll likely stop in Germany before coming back to the U.S., and that he's expected at the White House tomorrow.
We're very honored to have him back with us. He suffered greatly. But we're very appreciative to a lot of people.
He was convicted in Turkey of helping terror groups and sentenced to 3 years, but they let him go after he served 2. They also dropped espionage charges. Brunson had been living in Turkey for 2 decades. The president says no deal was made. They're just happy to have him back, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. The president was also asked about the relations between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia over missing Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
We're going to find out what happened with respect to the terrible situation in Turkey having to do with Saudi Arabia and the reporter. And nobody knows quite yet. Nobody's been able to put it all together. People are starting to form ideas, and as they're formed, we'll let you know. But it certainly is a terrible thing.
Khashoggi disappeared after going to the Saudi consulate in Turkey to file routine paperwork. The president saying that he will raise the issue with King Salman of Saudi Arabia. Stocks gaining back some of the ground it lost this week.
Markets closed higher for the first day in 3. The Dow by 287 points, S&P 539 points, the NASDAQ by 168 points. The markets did close off their session highs, but most traders say they'll take it. All 10 industry groups closed up on the session, but even with Friday's gains, it was still the worst week since March 7 months ago.
Deirdre Bolton with the Fox Business Network. This is Fox News.
To experience relief from muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This non-greasy foam is proven to relieve muscle cramps fast and reduce muscle soreness. TheraWorks Relief can also prevent muscle cramps before they start, so you can get a full night's sleep without having to worry about muscle cramps. TheraWorks Relief only takes minutes to apply, absorbs quickly, and it works. TheraWorks Relief is a life-changing product, and you don't even need a prescription. Get TheraWorks Relief today in the pain relief aisle at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens pharmacies, or TheraWorksRelief.com.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was
not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast, smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating and hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
Your news, your town, your station. KVFD News when it breaks.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. The University of Iowa Mobile Museum is in Fort Dodge this weekend. Terry Cook is on the Fort Museum Board of Directors. He has more information.
12th, 13th, and 14th, we will have the University of Iowa Traveling Museum in Fort Dodge. It'll be at the Opera House or in the Fort parking lot. It's a traveling museum with all different displays in it. It will be open to the public 10 to 5, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 3 days. No cost.
A woman has been in prison for her role in the slaying of a Des Moines man. Polk County court records say Crystal Purdy was sentenced Thursday to 35 years. She pleaded guilty to burglary and conspiracy to commit a forcible felony after prosecutors dropped a murder charge for the slaying of Cody Channon on January 9th. Her plea deal calls for her to testify against others involved, including William Burton II. He pleaded not guilty to a murder charge. Investigators say they suspect Burton, Purdy, and another man who has yet to be charged went to Channon's home to confront him, and then Burton intentionally shot Channon once in the chest. Police say Burton and Purdy told investigators the gun went off during a scuffle. Iowa officials say the teenage son of a man killed in a Huxley house fire has also died from his injuries. Huxley Police Sergeant Joe Marchesano told the Des Moines Register that 17-year-old Daniel Van Ersvelde died Wednesday at University of Iowa Hospitals in Iowa City. His death came 3 days after the fire that killed his father, 47-year-old Brett Van Ersvelde. The teen and his mother were both pulled from his bedroom by firefighters Sunday evening. 2 daughters were able to escape. The Crossroads Mall in Fort Dodge has added a new business to the mall in the last couple of weeks. New Age Media Productions is now in the mall near Riddle's Jewelry. The company specializes in transferring video and audio recordings from the past to current mediums. They also offer photography and DJ services as well. Co-owner Joel Johnson says preserving memories is special.
Giving these people back their memories. I think it's the most rewarding thing anybody could ever do.
Crossroads Mall General Manager Melissa Verschure says New Age Media has been a great addition.
Adding New Age Media just expands what we have to offer for the customers and people of Fort Dodge. Gives a more of a family feel to the mall, which is something we've really tried to get back to.
New Age Media is open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. In local sports, Fort Dodge football travels to take on Sioux City West tonight with radio coverage on 92.1 The Eagles starting at 6:50. Head coach Matt Miller says starting fast is key for the Dodgers.
I think we got to get out and get to a fast start. If we can establish that and get going, make sure that we do the things we do well, we're going to be just fine.
St. Edmund is at home at Dodger Stadium hosting Alta Aurelia at 7. Radio coverage is on Sunny 99.7. This has been Alex Benzagal with the KVFD Afternoon News. Have a great day.
Here's the AM 1400 KVFD weatherology forecast. Lows level off.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where Dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Casey starts off this hour in Tallahassee, Florida. Hi, Casey. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
My question is, well, we've been doing your program now since last November and gotten rid of a lot of debt.
Good.
But my mother, she babysits our kids, or our kid right now will be 2 here in November.
Mm-hmm.
And she's planning on moving back south. And right now we live with my mother-in-law, which is my wife's mom. And if my mom leaves, my wife has to quit her job to take care of the kids because the cost of childcare here is exponentially high. And we have an option to move down there with them. I'm thinking we should, but because both of our jobs are transferable.
Mm-hmm.
We could transfer there and still have both of our jobs. Mm-hmm. If she quits also, our health insurance goes to my health insurance, which is a lot more expensive than hers.
Mm-hmm.
And
so what does your wife make?
About $32,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I make around 40.
Okay. Yeah, she's not going to net a lot after daycare on that. You wouldn't lose money, but she'd basically be working for daycare and health insurance mainly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be it's not $2,500 a month, but it is probably going to be, $1,500, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes out to 18 because one will be a newborn.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, 2 babies. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm in sales. My wife works for the state.
What do you sell?
Pest control and termite stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And that your company has a branch in the other city?
Oh yeah, and we're throughout the state.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think I would want to decide where I live based on some formula other than where the babysitter lives.
Yes.
Okay. I don't like that formula much. I get how you're going there, but I think you need to decide where you live based on the quality of life, based on I want to be near family, based on the job that I want is there, and we figure out a babysitter. It sounds like you're following mom around a little bit. I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, it's just the babysitter thing is drawing you in, and it feels like that's the wrong way to make this decision. I'm not sure it's a bad decision, but I think it might be arrived in the wrong way. And so it wouldn't help you next time. So, I start asking myself, okay, 10 years from now, when these kids are early teens, where do we want to live? What do I want to be doing for a living at that time? And let's start kind of moving our life in a long-term trajectory, a long-term mentality trajectory, rather than just, oh God, we got to have a babysitter.
Well, I grew up down there. My brother lives there and their family and my cousin, and my wife doesn't have any family here. So,
okay. Well, you're living with mother-in-law, right?
Yeah, well, she's the only family she has here in the States. Her rest of her family live in Cuba.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if I want to be near family, and I think my career can prosper there as much as here or more, maybe because I know more people, and, I have more credibility to sell pest control or to do whatever you're going to do. What city are you talking about moving to?
It would be Northport, which is Port Charlotte area, just below Sarasota.
Oh, okay. Okay. Basically a suburb of Sarasota. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, that's a good, strong economic market. And, in terms of your long-term prospects, because if you can sell, you could do a whole lot of things and make a whole lot of money over time. Yeah. Maybe even a different form of sales at some point in your life. I'm thinking out there 10 years, where do you want to be doing 10 years from now? Where do you want to live 10 years from now? And does this take us there? I don't see a reason not to do it if you want to do it. I just don't want you to let's say that something happened to her ability to keep the kids later and you go, oh man, we moved down here for that. No, you moved down here for other good reasons. And she happened to be there to keep the kids. That's the kind of the way I'd want to view it, because it's more of a permanent decision then. And we're not just, bouncing around, because you don't want to bounce around. That'll cost you a lot of money and a lot of emotional pain. Victoria is with us in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Hi, Victoria. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, so me and my husband are both college students. We got married about 4 months ago. We have $40,000 in cash in the bank.
Wow, where'd that come from?
We both work a lot. I have about 3 jobs. I own my own business for 2 of them, and I work at a bank.
Look at you.
He works as well.
Look at you. Way to go.
Thank you. And we're at a point where we decide, do we go ahead and purchase a home or do we invest all of it?
Mm-hmm. And how are you paying for school?
We have both full rides, plus we both get paid about $15,000 each semester to cover any expenses we want, like housing, rent,
Where'd that come from?
Food. Oh, let's see. Mine came from the Rotary. It came from the school. Grants, like the Pell Grant.
So it's like it's scholarship stuff. Okay. All right. Cool. Mm-hmm. I got you. Good for you guys. Way to go. So how long before you graduate?
I should be graduating in May.
Mm-hmm. What about him?
He should be next December.
And what are your degrees going to be in?
Mine is banking and finance, and his is electrical engineering technology.
Okay. Are you going to live for the next 10 years in Hattiesburg?
We don't mind. We don't really care where we go.
What do you
at this
think you're going to
point.
do with an electrical engineering degree and a finance degree? Do you think you're going to stay in Hattiesburg? Unless there's a draw, I doubt it. Unless there's a draw, I doubt it.
Yeah. We're kind of on the edge of, do we want to be here? Do we not? We don't mind being here. That's why we were kind of looking at homes, but we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere with his job.
I mean, you didn't just tell me my family grew up here. I've been, I'm fifth generation Hattiesburg. I'm staying in Hattiesburg. You just went to school in Hattiesburg is all you told me, right?
That is correct.
That's your only draw. Nothing wrong with Hattiesburg. I just think you're probably leaving. Because I think you're going to find opportunity in larger metro areas with your 2 degree fields. It's going to be economically calling to you. Leave. I think that's what you're going to hear. I really do. Because, I just think there's going to be more jobs in your field there. In that case, I wouldn't buy. And so I park that money until I get ready to make my move. I wouldn't park anything super aggressive. If you want to use a growth and income fund for some of it, or you want to just leave it in a money market, because you're probably going to use it in about 2 years to buy something. Not even 2 years, really about 1.5 years to buy something. A common theme around here is teaching people how to make smart choices. Whether it's with your money or with your business, you have to be intentional with every decision you make. As an example, if you're a business owner needing to hire new team members, don't waste your time searching job sites full of resumes that aren't right for the position you're hiring. The smart thing to do is to go to ZipRecruiter.com/Dave to hire the right person. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful matching technology scans thousands of resumes, identifies people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job, and actively invites them to apply so you get qualified candidates fast. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Dave. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Dave. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey, I'm Chris Hogan, national best-selling author and personal finance expert. I'm excited to introduce my new book, Everyday Millionaires: How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth and How You Can Too. My book reveals the real truths about what it takes to become an everyday millionaire. We did the largest study ever with over 10,000 millionaires, and the results will shock you. Pre-order Everyday Millionaires today for $20 at ChrisHogan360.com and get over $50 in free bonus items.
I know it's back to school season, but that doesn't mean you have to stress out about what's for dinner. For almost 10 years, I've been telling you about my friends at eMeals who make meal planning and shopping virtually stress-free. You can even have your groceries gathered for pickup or for delivery right from the eMeals app. It's the smartest way to save money every month. And you'll be a hero as your family eats delicious, healthy dinners together. Sign up for a free 2-week trial today at eMeals.com. That's eMeals.com.
Radio Iowa News is presented by the Iowa Department of Public Safety Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau. Wearing a seatbelt increases your chances of surviving a crash by 45%. It only takes 2 seconds to buckle up.
I'm Pat Curtis. Police say a high-speed chase in Des Moines last night ended with the suspect crashing his car into a house and then shooting himself in the head. 29-year-old Jacob Lee Hall is hospitalized in critical condition. Police say Hall was wanted for multiple felony warrants. A couple of organizations are joining forces and launching a statewide tour next week to help voters understand changes to the state's voting laws.
While there are some new laws, our message is pretty simple. Early voting has started, and voting in Iowa is still very easy to do. And so we're encouraging everybody to get out there and do it.
That's Brad Anderson, director of AARP Iowa, which is partnering with the Latino Political Network on the informational tour. This is Radio Iowa.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzzed driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely, like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Diane is on Facebook. What is a home equity line of credit? Is it worth having, or should I avoid it? Well, a line of credit is an approved loan that you take out only when you would want to. In other words, you could get pre-approved and have a lien against your house for a certain amount of money, and that's a line of credit. A home equity line of credit means you pledged your house for that line of credit. And this is a method of getting a second mortgage on your home, basically. So is it worth having, or should I avoid it? Well, Diane, we tell folks to avoid debt. We try to take you the other way. We want you to get rid of your HELOC, your home equity line of credit, if you have one. We want you to get rid of your first mortgage if you have one. We want you to get out of debt, because when you don't have any payments, you know what you have? Money. The borrower is slave to the lender. So no, we don't recommend home equity lines of credit ever. Paul is on Facebook. Is there a mileage limit you use as a rule of thumb when buying a used car? No, what I'm trying to determine is the car worn out to the point it's going to give me trouble? So the more inexpensive and cheaply made the car is, the more the miles would affect it. In other words, a 100,000 mile Dodge Neon would be different than a 100,000 mile Mercedes. Like one is used up and the other one is just getting started at that point. You know what I'm saying? The gerbil is really tired under the hood of that Neon at that point. I don't even know if they still make a Dodge Neon, but you get my point. The cheap little dinky butt car. I mean, you got a 100,000 mile smart car, that's called dumb. Okay. It's not called smart anymore. So I'll just give you that example. So no chance I want that thing. But if you got a car that's built, that's a higher end, nicer vehicle, they're typically well built. I mean, again, a Honda, a Lexus, a Mercedes, a Beamer, a Cadillac, the larger body Ford products. Ford's building a great product. A truck, a Chevy truck, a Ford truck with 100,000 miles on it. I wouldn't think anything about that. It's got easily another 100 in it, maybe another 300 in it, depending on how you took care of it and what you were driving and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't think anything about that at all. Again, though, it kind of depends on your budget and how nice a car you want. Obviously, the least miles. The last used car I bought was a Raptor. It had 19,000 miles on it when I bought it. I drove it till I got about 60 or no, I got about 50 something on it. And so it was a very low mile car when I got rid of it the other day. And so, you're looking at that, your situation too. What is your situation and what can you do? But generally speaking, the more of an economy car it is, quote unquote, the more the miles would have a negative effect on it. Because I just really don't, because I'm looking for is dependability and how much life is left in it. That's a cool question. Very interesting. Dustin is with us in St. Louis. Hi, Dustin. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure, man. What's up?
So I'm 17 years old. I'm a high school senior, and I've got about $3,000 in my savings account. I was wondering, should I invest? And if I do, what should I invest in?
You going to college?
Yes, community college with an A+ program in St. Louis, and so it's almost free.
Okay. So you're only going to do 2 years?
2 years, and then depending on how the program goes, maybe transfer, but the cybersecurity and IT program at the community college is designed to send you right out into the workforce.
Yeah. That would be true. If you get some certs, some of the certifications and stuff in IT, 4-year degree might not even be a wise investment. I agree with that. Okay. So that's what you want to do. You want to be a programmer, or you want to be in IT, or whatever.
Something like that.
Okay. And the community college is paid for as long as you keep an A+. Okay.
Yeah.
You can invest it. Here's the thing I always tell folks at your age. I'm much more concerned that you complete all of your educational goals with no debt than I am whether you have an investment in a mutual fund. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, a 9.9, finish your college and all your education with 0 debt. So if there was a bump in the road in your little plan, you might need some money to finish your schooling. And that's Dustin, is a better investment than a mutual fund is, assuming you're studying something like you're talking about studying, which is a very usable field of study that you can, really make some good money in. And getting that level of education is really going to cause your income to go be a lot higher than if you didn't have that education. So, you're the best investment we can make. Much better than a mutual fund. I like mutual funds. You know me, I talk about them all the time. So if you want to invest some of it into a mutual fund, that's fine. I would not put it in a retirement account at this stage with this amount of money in your situation. Because again, my main goal for you as your friend is for you to get your degree and your field of study, whether it's a 2-year, whether it's certifications in the tech field, or whether it's a 4-year degree. My main goal for you is to give you the tools in your belt, the educational tools in your belt, for you to be able to go live your dream without any debt. And that $3,000 spent on that is more important than putting it in a mutual fund. So if you put it in a mutual fund and you run into a bump, don't be afraid to take it out and use it for college if you're going to go that route, if you need to. Thanks for calling. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mike is in Chicago. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm great, Dave. It's an honor to speak with you.
You too, sir. What's up in your world?
So my wife and I are currently on baby step 4. We're saving 15% for retirement, and we're using the excess in our budget to pay off our mortgage early.
Cool.
And we're both teachers, and the state-run pension takes 9% of our gross take-home pay. So our dilemma is when we save an extra 15% on top of that 9% that we already contribute, we don't have much left over for mortgage acceleration. So when we save the 6%, we're able to save a lot for the mortgage acceleration. So is it okay to do that, or do you recommend saving the 24%?
Yeah. Now, the mandatory amount that you're putting in, are you vested in that? Is that you choosing an investment for that, or is that a pension?
It's a pension. There's no options.
Yeah, it's mandatory. It's a pension, and you don't have control of it.
Right.
And when you leave, you can't take it with you.
Correct. I have to wait till I'm 67.
Okay. And it's 9%.
9%. Yep.
Okay. So the equation is, do we put 15 on top of that, or do we only put 6 on top of that? And that's our dilemma, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I probably would split the difference because I don't like the pension. We're stuck with it, but I don't like it. You, A, don't control the options for investing. B, you don't get to take it with you when you go. And the state of Illinois is notoriously poorly run.
True.
It's a horribly run state. And now we're betting on those guys? Yeah, no, thank you. So, but would I count some of it? Yeah, I'd count some of it. I'm not going to count it as a full 9. What if we counted it as a 4 or a 5? If we count it as a 4, then that means we need to put in 10%, right? You got to put in 9. You don't have a choice. But I'm saying because we don't have a lot of faith in it, I don't like it, but it's there, and we'll probably get some of it. I mean, likelihood is, I'm not predicting the failure of the teacher's pension in Illinois. It's just horribly run. And if it was ever going to fail anywhere, it'd be there, you know? So that's the truth, and you know that. So given that, let's give it a 50% hit or so, and just round numbers. Let's put in 10% instead of putting in 15% on top, or something like that. And that'll accelerate your mortgage a little bit. It's not going to be perfect, but it's a little bit more to get that way, and you can go that direction. So, cool. Do it. That's what I would do. I'd back it off a little bit. Hey, thanks for the call. Appreciate you joining us. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. big time extraordinary things start from ordinary things. And they start from changing the ordinary habits in your day-to-day life. You see, changing these habits is the foundation of our teachings at the SMART conferences. And I'm excited to announce this fall and winter, we're headed your way. At this event, we're going to hear from America's most sought-after experts on the topics of marriage, parenting, money, career, leadership, and personal development. This lineup is mind-blowing. Joining me will be Dr. Henry Cloud, Rachel Cruz, Chris Hogan, Dr. Les Parrott, Anthony O'Neill, Ken Coleman, and Dr. Meg Meeker. The SMART Conference will give you the principles and tools to take back the key areas of your life. You'll spend a day with like-minded people who are determined to close the gap between where they are today and where they want to be. It's time to live the life you've always imagined. Join us in Kansas City this October and in Dallas this January. Get your seats today at DaveRamsey.com.
From the Fox Business Network, a little green on Friday, a lot of red for the week. The Dow picking up 287 points, capping a volatile stretch for stocks. U.S. investors making up around $400 billion worth of value. But the gains on Friday weren't enough to stop the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 from having their worst week since March of this year. Meantime, those markets could have shoppers feeling jittery. Consumer confidence dipping slightly in October, but keep in mind we are still at pretty high levels overall, and Americans still feel pretty good about the economy. So we'll see. And we've got another big recall, this one from Toyota. The Japanese automaker pulling back nearly 190,000 vehicles worldwide over airbag software problems. The recall covering 2018 and 2019 Tundras, Sequoias, along with 2019 Avalons. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Charles Payne.
The worst commercial ever.
Say, Jan, as a fellow respected small business professional, I wonder, who do you use for commercial auto and business insurance?
Progressive, of course. They helped with a customized insurance solution for my busy florist company.
I'm so glad we had this chance encounter in this busy restaurant.
Yes, that fake conversation was brutal. Whereas commercial auto and business insurance through Progressive is anything but. Visit progressivecommercial.com to quote today. Insurance provided and serviced by Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. It's affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hi, I'm Michael Devine with Divine Intervention at AM 1400, KVFD, the voice of Fort Dodge. From 2 to 5, Monday through Friday, I'll be on the air talking local issues, local politics, local concerns. The only way this works, once again, is to have you join the conversation by calling 515-955-1400. Afternoons, 2 to 5, Divine Intervention. Please join the conversation. And I want to thank Alpha Media for allowing this program on the air in a town the size of Fort Dodge.
If you are behind on your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt or medical bills forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. It's not bankruptcy. It's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven. Call for your free forgiveness information now. 800-291-6670. That's 800-291-6670. Don't wait. Call 800-291-6670. Not available in North Dakota.
To keep your vehicle running at its best, keep up with routine maintenance. The certified service techs at Humboldt Motor Sales make maintaining your vehicle easy. They offer convenient hours and competitive prices on all service and parts. And they take care of your GM warranty needs too. From oil changes to tires, brakes to batteries, engine repair and transmission repair, Humboldt Motor Sales can handle it all. Have your vehicle serviced soon at Humboldt Motor Sales. Log on to HumboldtGM.com to schedule an appointment now or call 800-566-8671.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and DSOC is asking you to show support for victims and survivors. Join us on October 19th for Jeans Day. You and your coworkers can donate $5 to DSOC for the chance to wear jeans for a day. All donations help DSOC continue to offer free and confidential services to victims and survivors of domestic violence. If your workplace would like to participate, or if your workplace doesn't allow jeans but you would still like to support us, we have other options. Call 955-2273. Please join DSOC in the fight to end domestic violence.
The free iHeartRadio app keeps you connected anywhere you go. More than just your favorite radio stations from all over the country. It's personalized radio with your favorite artists. Type in your favorite artist and we'll build you a station with all that artist's best music. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. iHeartRadio.
Thrifty White Community Health Corner, your source for reliable health information. Get your flu shot, not the flu. The flu vaccine is the best way to prevent seasonal flu. October is a good month to get your vaccine for longer protection during the flu season. Flu shots available at your local Thrifty White pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins are always welcome. Stop in today.
Have the talk of the lifetime with the ones you love and make the difference of a lifetime.
Grandma, this card asks, what's your favorite family tradition?
Christmas would be my favorite. You know how we use the special tablecloth and all the fancy dishes?
And those cookies you always make.
Should we whip up a batch and bake some together now?
Sharing stories and memories with those who matter most isn't just important today. It will be especially significant when it's time to honor a life lived. Contact Gunderson Funeral Home to learn more about having the talk of a lifetime.
Men, make sure you're around for your families. Get the test you need at the doctor. Disease can be detected early and treated. For a list of medical tests every man should have, go to ahrq.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
In the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Nathan and Vanessa are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. Welcome. Where do you guys live?
We're from Puyallup, Washington, which is just south of Seattle.
Okay, very cool. Well, good to have you guys. And the young folks you brought with you, the kiddos, what are their names and ages?
We got Barron, who's 8, and Harper, who's 7.
All right. Good-looking family. Very cool. And all the way across the United States here to Nashville to do your debt-free scream.
You bet.
I love it. How much have you paid off?
Right about $69,000.
Good for you. And how long did that take?
Close to 9 months.
Wow, that's fast. Range of income?
Right about $150,000.
What do you guys do for a living?
So I'm in treasury management sales for Wells Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom, but during that process, I was a health and fitness coach.
Okay, very good. And what kind of debt was the $69,000?
Couple cars and a little bit of student loan left.
Cool. Did you sell any cars or did you just pay them off?
No, we just paid them off.
Okay.
The car got us into the trouble.
Okay, very cool. But 9 months ago, some kind of a switch flip because, man, you went all after it. You went game on here. This is pretty serious numbers. Well done. Tell me the story of what got you started.
So probably about 6 months prior to that, we ended up needing a new car. Right?